Tian referred to those who possessed innate abilities from birth, while CII described those with extraordinary talents and the ability to shine. When people followed the path of Tian, various types of remarkable individuals emerged, including exceptional children of others, high achievers in life, and the future elite of society. These exceptional individuals often face discrimination because of their outstanding abilities. However, our main character, Leng Mo, did not discriminate against them, as he was a genius himself. He understood the challenges these gifted individuals faced because he belonged to that exceptional group. Everything was effortless for Leng Mo due to his genius, but it had become rather boring for him. Even though he was only 10 years old, he had already achieved remarkable success, and many considered him to be the greatest. In every situation, Leng Mo was always a perfect gentleman when it came to interacting with girls. However, his success made him the target of jealousy and envy among the boys, leading them to unite against him. The boys couldn't help but feel envious of Leng Mo's intelligence and genius. On the other hand, the girls adored him because of his outstanding grades. This contrast in how he was perceived by boys and girls led to jealousy and mixed feelings among his peers. When Leng Mo played basketball for the first time, he made 28 out of 31 throws, and the first 3 misses were just because he was trying to find his rhythm. To someone with a PhD, the life of a 4th grader seemed painfully dull. There were moments when he felt so bored that he talked to the principal about student management and the future of humanity. However, the principal had noticed that Leng Mo seemed down lately. He asked Leng Mo what was bothering him, and Leng Mo explained that everything felt too simple and uninteresting for him to enjoy. The principal was a very compassionate person. Despite coming from a financially struggling family, he had worked tirelessly, changing jobs 27 times in his life. The principal's motto of hard work led him to collaborate with Leng Mo. Sometimes, working with Leng Mo made the principal emotional because he believed Leng Mo was truly a genius. On one occasion, the principal became overwhelmed, crying out, "Life is unfair!" before fainting and being rushed to the hospital. Nevertheless, Leng Mo faced a new challenge in his life. He found everything too easy to learn. One day, as Leng Mo was strolling along a footpath, he encountered a homeless man. The homeless man recognized Leng Mo's uniqueness, and it left a strong impression on him. The homeless man stood up and revealed 4 martial arts techniques, claiming they were his family's closely guarded secrets. Initially, he had intended to destroy these techniques, but upon seeing Leng Mo, he changed his mind and decided to offer them for sale. Leng Mo was still taken aback, wondering how the homeless man recognized him as someone worthy of these teachings. The homeless man, observing Leng Mo lost in thought, added that he would provide them on a buy one get one free offer. This declaration left Leng Mo both shocked and amazed. Due to the influence of his mother and sister from a young age, Leng Mo had been ingrained with the instinct to seize any bargain or discount, even if he didn't necessarily need it. However, just as Leng Mo was on the verge of making a purchase, a meteor passed through the lunar orbit and was about to enter the Earth's atmosphere in a matter of hours. This wasn't an ordinary meteor. It was in fact a mysterious fragment with an incredible story behind it. On another distant planet, 2 great immortals existed, an angel responsible for life, creation, and hope, and a devil in charge of death, destruction, and despair. During a community event, a poker game escalated into a fight between the angel and the devil, sparking a conflict among the immortals. This battle plunged the world into chaos, triggering a monumental war between the angels and devils. Time ceased to flow, and water reversed its course. The laws of physics crumbled, turning bricks white, making the sun rise from the east, and pushing the world to the brink of collapse. When time and space unravel, the inevitable result is the destruction of the world. The world began to crumble, as the broken laws of the universe brought about its destruction. Concepts of life and death lost their meaning, and it marked a point of no return. Everything regressed to a state of nothingness. This chaotic situation persisted for billions of years, leaving the universe neither completely annihilated nor hospitable for new life. There was only everlasting emptiness and unending darkness. The world resembled a black sphere. An immortal known as the Old Man Time, who possessed a collection of all the planets, observed this black sphere and couldn't help but be puzzled by why it had turned completely black. Old Man Time recognized the powerful force contained within the black sphere, realizing that anyone who gained its strength would be formidable. Upon closer examination of the black world, Old Man Time remarked that the immortals had committed a disgraceful act on this planet. As Old Man Time was inspecting, another visitor arrived and introduced himself as Spaceman Mulberry. He invited Old Man Time to join a game of poker, which Old Man Time gladly accepted. With that, Old Man Time dropped the black sphere, and in an instant, the world, imbued with the potent force, shattered into pieces under Old Man Time's influence. One of these fragments slipped into a rift in space and time, disappearing without a trace. Let's return to the present. Leng Mo was reading the martial arts techniques he had obtained from the homeless man. Remarkably, he had memorized both the 9 Suns technique and the 100 Sword technique after just one reading. Leng Mo slipped on his cute panda slippers and gazed at the sun, knowing that today would be another mundane day for him. Suddenly, he realized that it wasn't the sun, but a meteorite hurtling towards him. Without warning, a blast rocked the surroundings, causing him to tumble backward from his chair. Leng Mo, relying on his genius thinking, quickly deduced that it was indeed a meteorite. An overwhelming sense of alarm gripped him as he pondered whether Earth was on the brink of destruction. Then, out of nowhere, an atomic bomb struck the meteorite while it was still in the sky. Another powerful explosion occurred in the heavens. A torrent of debris and an intense pressure ravaged Leng Mo's entire room. After the forceful impact, he struggled to stand up. At first, he marveled at the fact that he was still alive. Then, he found himself awestruck by the stunning sight before him. The sky was adorned with beautiful fiery colors, and Leng Mo couldn't help but be captivated by the spectacle. With his brilliant mind, Leng Mo quietly calculated his fortunate survival. In his own understated genius way, he silently witnessed the reactions of everyone around him, accompanied by the magnificent display of the meteorite and atomic bomb explosion. On an unknown world, different from Earth, a crack suddenly materialized in the sky one day. This fissure in the heavens unleashed a meteor with the swiftness and intensity of lightning, altering the destiny of that world. The meteor itself was Leng Mo, a genius holding 2 professor degrees. He hurtled towards the ground like a meteor, reaching incredible speeds and generating high temperatures. The gravitational force and velocity were comparable to those on Earth, and the surrounding atmosphere heated up to 2,000 degrees Celsius due to the friction. What was truly peculiar, however, was that Leng Mo miraculously remained alive despite the extreme conditions. During his descent, he even crashed into the searing magma of an erupting volcano. Unbelievably, he plowed through the 3,000 degrees Celsius magma and emerged unscathed. Following this astonishing feat, he landed on the ground with the force of 1,000,000 cows, triggering an explosion equivalent to 10 atomic bombs. The impact left a massive crater the size of a town, which could be seen as his unconventional introduction to this new world. After this incredible ordeal, Leng Mo remained unconscious. He slept on the ground for a full day and night, finally awakening at the break of the second day. 5 days passed, and Leng Mo continued to slumber peacefully, resembling a sleeping baby. He slept for an entire week, yet he showed no signs of awakening. The reason behind his resilience against all the impacts he had endured was the meteor that had struck his spiritual barrier. Following these events, Leng Mo began to transcend, manifesting in this world through a peculiar tunnel. To put it simply, Leng Mo wasn't a part of this world, rendering it incapable of causing harm to him, much like how a character becomes invincible when revived in a video game. While the effects of this newfound power would dissipate in a few days, Leng Mo's physical form had already adapted to the laws of space. He stood as the sole individual to have forged a contract with space itself, boasting the highest talent in understanding the laws of space across multiple realms. Leng Mo's future held limitless potential, propelling him to the brink of existence beyond even the immortals themselves. 3 months later, a picturesque village with charming igloo-like homes came into view. Inside one of these homes, Leng Mo woke up in a cozy bed. Beside him, there was a glowing mushroom. The house was crafted amidst living trees, bearing a distinct dwarf-like design. Leng Mo couldn't help but wonder, as he calmly analyzed his surroundings, if he had somehow crossed into another world. It was a rare occurrence for him, but he felt strangely at ease. Leng Mo anticipated a warm welcome from friendly, lovely lady elves. Leng Mo felt a surge of excitement, anticipating a meeting with the elf women. However, his excitement quickly turned to shock as a burly man with a mustache and beard entered the room, shouting loudly. Leng Mo surmised that this man must belong to the dwarf race, judging by his appearance. The man stood at about 1 meter in height, but his muscular build made him imposing. He spoke in a foreign language, leaving Leng Mo bewildered as to why he couldn't understand a word. Leng Mo tried to communicate, informing the man that he couldn't comprehend him, but this only seemed to make the man more aggressive, as he continued to yell in his own language. The man began to act out something, and soon, other locals joined in, all speaking in the same unfamiliar language and raising their voices. Watching their energetic display, Leng Mo realized that he might be residing in this forest of muscular individuals for a while. Suddenly, the group of men broke into strange smiles, and one of them pinched Leng Mo. Feeling their hands on him, Leng Mo yelled at them, accusing them of being perverts and warning them not to touch him. In their eyes, Leng Mo appeared to be an unusual person. Language posed no significant challenge for Leng Mo. In just a few hours of basic conversation, he managed to grasp the language of the dwarfs, a testament to his intellectual prowess. Engaging with them, Leng Mo soon discovered that these dwarfs were sincere and exceptionally passionate about their pursuits. However, there was one peculiar aspect about them: their inclination to touch people randomly. Through his conversations, Leng Mo learned that this small town was nestled within a forest near a volcano. The population numbered only a few thousand, and these dwarfs were the last of their kind in this world. After a long history that included a war and constant preparation for unforeseen challenges in their village, the dwarf race had learned to survive with difficulty near the volcano. Interestingly, these dwarf muscle men were not inclined towards conflict. Instead, their sole passion lay in crafting weapons and armor. They had an unparalleled talent for forging. Over the course of hundreds of millions of years, the Dwarven race had come to dominate the world of craftsmanship. Their forging skills had reached their zenith. Lying on his bed, Leng Mo realized that he would have to acclimate himself to life in this town of muscular men, as it seemed he would be staying here for quite some time. A little girl's excited voice announced her arrival as she entered the house. Seeing Lang Mo, she displayed her delight that he had slept well, and even brought some food. Lang Mo was taken aback as he observed how incredibly cute this dwarf girl was. The girl introduced herself as Shanna, and shared that she had been looking after him while he was asleep all this time. Curious, she asked for his name, to which Lang Mo confidently replied that he was Lang Mo. Amused by his response, Shanna playfully pinched Lang Mo's cheeks and then touched his body, laughing as she pointed out his lack of muscles. Feeling a sense of embarrassment, Lang Mo was uncomfortable with Shanna's constant touching. She inquired about Lang Mo's origin while continuing to caress his soft face, seemingly enjoying it. Lang Mo, annoyed by the cheek pinches, couldn't contain himself and raised his voice, firmly instructing Shanna to stop touching him. He emphasized the importance of considering his feelings, even if it was their custom. Shanna, undeterred, simply found it fun to pinch Lang Mo. After a while, Lang Mo started to feel more at ease, and expressed his eagerness to work alongside everyone from the following day. However, Shanna remained skeptical, believing that Lang Mo might not be in the right physical condition for labor. Lang Mo, on the other hand, was confident in the state of his body, and believed he could handle some light tasks. Shanna expressed concern, pointing at Lang Mo's arms and remarking that they appeared quite thin. In response, Lang Mo smiled confidently and assured Shanna that she was underestimating him. He went on to boast about his remarkable abilities, claiming to be a genius with perfect intelligence, attack, defense, agility, and an all-around exemplary student. Lang Mo reassured Shanna not to worry about him, emphasizing that he was exceptionally skilled. Shanna was amazed by Lang Mo's self-assuredness and abilities. Lang Mo continued to brag, stating that he was a natural talent who also put in hard work, making him unmatched in his capabilities. Lang Mo went on to explain to Shanna that humans were stronger than beasts, and his superior performance was primarily due to his brain. Although Shanna may not have fully comprehended his words, her excitement and amazement at his confidence were evident. In her eyes, he was simply the best. Outside the mine, the Muscleman leader and other dwarfs had gathered, and Lang Mo stood among them. The leader informed everyone that Lang Mo would be joining their workforce, and encouraged everyone to look out for each other. Lang Mo observed the short stature of the dwarfs, noting that they possessed impressive muscular strength at a very young age. Lang Mo was beginning to see that this world wasn't all that bad. His first mission, Mission A, involved transporting bloodsteel and coals, rated at a difficulty level of 2 stars. The enticing reward for completing this task was a hug from the village chief. Observing other villagers picking up coals, Lang Mo approached a lady to inquire if he could join in. She nodded in agreement. However, as Lang Mo attempted to lift one of the coals, he quickly realized that they were incredibly heavy. He struggled to even lift it off the ground. Lang Mo came to the staggering realization that these seemingly small coals weighed at least 120 kilograms each. If merely picking them up was this challenging, he wondered how he would manage to transport them. Out of nowhere, Shanna appeared, and began pinching Lang Mo's cheeks playfully. Lang Mo's grip on the coal slipped because of her, causing him to drop it. However, Shanna effortlessly caught the heavy coal, making it seem like child's play. Lang Mo, feeling somewhat defeated, allowed her to assist him, and together they moved the coal with ease. Lang Mo then attempted Mission B, which involved wielding a hefty 210-kilogram axe to cut down trees, but he failed in that endeavor. He also tried his hand at plucking fruits for the mission, but faced yet another failure. Lang Mo found himself making no progress in completing his missions. The village chief, witnessing Lang Mo's struggles, felt disappointed that he wouldn't receive his hug that day. Tomorrow, it seemed Lang Mo would have to work even harder to earn that coveted embrace. The village chief proceeded to give hugs to other villagers who had successfully completed their tasks, and they seemed to thoroughly enjoy this reward. Lang Mo couldn't help but think that it was a rather lackluster prize in his opinion. As night fell, Lang Mo sat down to eat a bowl of soup, feeling thoroughly exhausted. The villagers encouraged him to eat more, believing it would restore his strength. Lang Mo found himself being comforted by the villagers, a role he had rarely experienced in his previous life. He had been the one offering consolation in the past, but now he was in need of it. Lang Mo lay on his bed, relieved that his first day had passed, but his emotions were a complex mix. He couldn't help but find it pathetic that just yesterday, he had been boasting about being a genius. Troubling thoughts began to invade Lang Mo's mind, and he felt a sense of sadness and mental pressure weighing on him. In his mind, Lang Mo was consumed by the belief that he was the worst and the weakest in this new place, someone who needed consolation. Suddenly, a surge of emotions drove him to run out of his house and start climbing the nearby stairs. As he ran, Lang Mo pondered how he had become this way in an instant. He attempted to climb a mountain with his bare hands, but ended up hurting himself in the process. Lang Mo couldn't believe what it felt like to be the least capable among everyone. Then, a sudden trembling of the ground shook the village, prompting the villagers to rush out of their houses. The village chief suspected it might be an earthquake stemming from the nearby volcano and ordered everyone to gather in a safe area while they searched for Lang Mo. Shanna informed the chief that she had no idea where Lang Mo had gone. The village chief urgently commanded his men to locate Lang Mo. However, one villager pointed towards a man standing atop a summit. They were perplexed as to why Lang Mo was there, standing on that precarious summit. The villagers below shouted up to him, urging him to come down, emphasizing the danger as the volcano appeared ready to erupt. Lang Mo remained silent, standing on the summit, his hands bleeding, lost in his thoughts. He couldn't shake the belief that he was the weakest among them now, contrasting starkly with his previous life as a genius. It was difficult for him to fathom how, in a matter of moments, he had fallen from being a genius to feeling like a nobody. Lang Mo was uncertain whether this situation was a blessing or a punishment. He gazed at the active volcano and offered a faint smile as he voiced his desire to ask something of the Immortal One. Suddenly, the volcano erupted, and Lang Mo remained standing there, seemingly turning it into a personal challenge. Lang Mo wanted the world to witness who he truly was. The village chief, observing Lang Mo's audacity, thought that with the erupting volcano as a backdrop, Lang Mo was indeed making a remarkable spectacle. Upon arriving in this new world, Lang Mo felt like a complete novice, a level 1 noob with painfully limited talents. However, instead of giving in to despair, he resolved to work even harder. He refused to give up and pushed himself to his physical limits. On the first night in this unfamiliar place, Lang Mo lay motionless on his bed, unable to move due to the intense pain coursing through his body. The discomfort was so severe that it kept him from sleeping. In his sleepless state, Lang Mo decided to spend his time meditating. He recalled the 9-yang technique he had acquired before the Earth's destruction and diligently followed the instructions for its practice. Suddenly, Lang Mo experienced a comforting and soothing sensation, an instant relief from his pain. It was as if every artery and vein within him had opened up, welcoming a warm surge of energy that flowed throughout his entire body. 9 weeks later, the fatigue that had once plagued Lang Mo's body had vanished completely. His newfound strength continued to grow, revitalizing him day by day. Despite having mastered this technique as the sun rose, the feeling was far superior to any he had experienced while sleeping. With this newfound energy, Lang Mo started the next day with vigor, but by the day's end, he found himself utterly exhausted. In the following months, Lang Mo adopted a rigorous routine, playing with his life during the day and dedicating himself to cultivation during the night. He diligently recorded his progress, working tirelessly during the day, and then using cultivation to recover at night. This cycle continued for about a month, until he was able to keep pace with the others. While he wasn't the best, he certainly wasn't the worst anymore. The village chief, impressed by everyone's progress, announced that he, their respected elder, would be teaching them the ancient Dwarven axe techniques. Hearing this, Lang Mo realized the importance of taking this instruction seriously. The chief's tone turned serious as he emphasized the antiquity of the technique, demonstrating its power by skillfully swinging the axe and chopping through some logs. Lang Mo couldn't help but find the chief's demonstration rather unimpressive and aesthetically unappealing. However, as he observed the chief's movements, he began to notice a sense of familiarity in the axe techniques being showcased. It became evident that the chief was enthusiastically demonstrating essential life skills. While the other villagers cheered in appreciation, Lang Mo remained disinterested. Noticing Lang Mo's expression, the chief inquired about it. Lang Mo openly expressed his thoughts, stating that he felt the attack route of the axe techniques was unclear, and the movements might require some modifications. He added that this style of attack could be easily countered or blocked. Hearing Lang Mo's critique, the chief was taken aback, never having considered such a possibility. In a dramatic display, the chief assumed an almost immortal-like demeanor, proclaiming that no one had ever managed to block the powerful slash of their Dwarven race. However, deep down, he too harbored concerns about what would happen if his attack were to be blocked. Driven by his frustration, the chief swung his axe with intense force towards Lang Mo, challenging him to attempt to block it. Under the immense pressure of the attack, Lang Mo instinctively dropped to the ground. To his relief, the chief halted the axe just before it reached Lang Mo's head. Curious, the chief inquired why Lang Mo hadn't attempted to block the attack at that moment. While Lang Mo watched the axe blade come dangerously close to him, he felt an overwhelming pressure. The chief, with a chuckle, acknowledged Lang Mo's intelligence but cautioned against allowing it to lead him into making mistakes. With an intimidating expression, the chief emphasized that if this had been a real battle, Lang Mo's arrogance could have cost him his life. As night fell, the chief sat at a table, sipping his tea and pondering Lang Mo's situation. He believed that the impact he had delivered to Lang Mo was a necessary part of his growth, and now it was merely a matter of how long it would take for Lang Mo to recover from this setback. The chief was eager to determine whether Lang Mo was a genuine genius capable of adapting swiftly to his environment, or merely a clever but arrogant individual. He couldn't help but worry that Lang Mo's solemn expression after the incident might signify deeper consequences. The chief's concerns seemed to materialize as Lang Mo's physical abilities had noticeably worsened, and he appeared visibly exhausted. Despite a full month passing, Lang Mo's condition showed little improvement, only reaching a point before his situation seemed to deteriorate. This deeply concerned the chief, who began to question whether the impact of his actions had taken a toll on Lang Mo both physically and mentally. Despite these worries, the chief couldn't help but reflect on the fragility of all geniuses. The chief believed that it was time for a heart-to-heart conversation with Lang Mo to help mend his broken spirit. Without delay, he made his way to Lang Mo's residence, but upon entering, he was taken aback by what he saw. Lang Mo was diligently working and practicing, completely absorbed in his efforts. He was counting, and the count had reached a staggering 3,000 before Lang Mo dropped the axe upon noticing the chief's presence. Curious, The chief asked Leng Mo what he was practicing for. With beads of sweat on his forehead, Leng Mo explained that he was practicing the chief's powerful slash technique, aiming to repeat it 3,000 times each day. The chief was not only surprised by Leng Mo's dedication, but also by what he was wearing. Leng Mo suddenly realized his attire and promptly removed the heavy training equipment from his body. He explained that, apart from sleeping, he had been wearing these iron weights all the time, totaling around 40 kilograms. The chief was taken aback and asked if Leng Mo had been wearing this extra weight during his regular work. Leng Mo, looking at the chief with a smile, confirmed that he had indeed been doing so. This revelation left the chief astounded by Leng Mo's sharpness and motivated by his determination. The chief, observing Leng Mo's chiseled physique, found it hard to believe that Leng Mo, a genius, was putting in even more effort than the hardworking villagers. Leng Mo expressed his gratitude for the valuable lessons he had learned from the dwarf grandpa, particularly the remarkable dwarven axe technique. With an unusual, somewhat mischievous smile, Leng Mo asked the chief if he wanted to witness the fruits of his month-long rigorous training. The chief remained in disbelief, unable to comprehend that Leng Mo had practiced the technique 3,000 times each day. Undeterred, Leng Mo wore a confident expression and urged the chief to witness the results of his dedicated efforts without delay. The chief chuckled, finding Leng Mo's confidence amusing, especially when it seemed Leng Mo was unaware of his own limits. With a casual sweep of his hand through his hair, the chief suggested that Leng Mo demonstrate by swinging at the chief's head with full strength. Leng Mo hesitated, unsure about the idea, but eventually agreed to the challenge. The chief, now somewhat irritated, raised his voice, instructing Leng Mo to proceed and assuring him that his head was exceptionally strong. In response, Leng Mo remarked that if the chief believed in his own strength, he should comply with Leng Mo's request. Resolutely, the chief lowered his head, positioning himself for Leng Mo's strike. Leng Mo assured the chief that he understood and was ready to give it his all. Suddenly, a powerful pressure began to build around Leng Mo, and he seemed to transform into a completely different state. Witnessing this transformation, the chief couldn't help but be taken aback. The chief speculated that Leng Mo must have some hidden equipment capable of emitting such intense air pressure. He found it puzzling how Leng Mo could generate such pressure with his current level of strength. Objects around them were being pushed forcefully into the ground, adding to the chief's hesitation. However, he was determined not to appear frightened by this unexpected display of power. In a sudden surge of strength, Leng Mo concentrated all his power into his fist and aimed it directly at the chief's head with overwhelming force. The chief, observing the incoming fist with extreme pressure, felt a moment of uncertainty about whether he could withstand the blow. Nevertheless, he decided to remain still, believing that Leng Mo, a thoughtful individual, wouldn't strike an elderly man like him too forcefully. But suddenly, with a resounding impact, Leng Mo's fist connected with the chief's head. Leng Mo stood beside the chief's bed, consumed by regret for his impulsive action. The chief's head had swelled up like a balloon due to the force of the blow. Leng Mo quickly offered his heartfelt apologies for striking the dwarven chief so forcefully. In the movies Leng Mo had watched in the past, he knew that if he didn't act correctly, the consequences could be dire, such as getting cooked and eaten. Upon awakening, the chief assured Leng Mo that it wasn't his fault and praised him for both his hard work and talent. Tears welled up in the chief's eyes as he continued to express his sentiments. He believed it was time for Leng Mo to seek out a master and delve into the art of forging. The chief then sat up and made a resolute decision. He declared that he would personally take Leng Mo under his wing, emphasizing that he had been the most skilled blacksmith among the Dwarven race for the past 300 years. Leng Mo's excitement swelled upon hearing this news. However, the chief's expression turned serious as he issued a stern warning. He told Leng Mo that if he chose to learn from him, he should be prepared to endure extreme hardships. The chief added that if Leng Mo started but lost heart halfway through, he wouldn't care about him anymore. Leng Mo, brimming with excitement, demonstrated his determination to learn from the chief. Half a month later, after the dwarven chief had fully healed, Leng Mo began his training in the art of forging. He utilized magnets to locate iron essence ores, which were essentially pure forms of iron ore embedded within rocks. After completing numerous exercises, Leng Mo successfully reached the first stage of forging. The dwarven chief emphasized that in forging, it wasn't about perfecting the weapon in one attempt. Instead, each strike of the hammer contributed to the weapon's creation. This process resulted in weapons of exceptional durability and sharpness. As Leng Mo observed the chief engaging in the art of forging, he couldn't help but notice the subtle incorporation of the axe techniques he had previously learned. For countless years, the peaceful dwarven race had lived their lives in this manner. Forging was synonymous with fighting, and fighting was a form of forging. This realization filled Leng Mo's heart with a profound sense of determination. With this newfound understanding, Leng Mo embarked on the beginning of his forging journey. To some, half a year may seem swift, while to others it may appear quite sluggish. However, for Leng Mo, this half-year period held immense significance, equivalent to the time he had spent learning elementary and middle school knowledge in his previous life. After half a year of dedicated learning from the dwarven chief, Leng Mo not only experienced a significant increase in his physical strength, but also acquired two valuable items. The first was the very first weapon he had forged, a beginner's axe. Accompanying this was a complete set of forging techniques and knowledge that included the art of refining and identifying materials. Despite the initial weakness of the axe, Leng Mo had ideas on how to enhance its capabilities. The second achievement from his intensive studies was the successful fusion of the Dwarven axe techniques and the 100 swords arts, resulting in the creation of a completely new martial skill. This innovative development represented a profound step in his martial training. Leng Mo decided to name his newly created martial skill 7 Deadly Slash. It combined the raw power of the Dwarven axe techniques with the agility and finesse of the 100 swords arts. This skill consisted of a total of 7 distinct moves, each with 7 unique styles and a variety of attack types. Leng Mo's dedication to perfecting this martial skill was rewarded with occasional warm hugs from the chief, although he couldn't quite come to terms with the chief's ample chest hairs. One day, while outside in the forest, Leng Mo encountered a cute green slime on the ground. Disappointed, he inquired if this was to be his task. The chief confirmed his suspicions, explaining that his task was to eliminate 100 of these slimes and collect their jelly, which he needed to deliver to Aunt Medea. Leng Mo couldn't bear the thought of harming the adorable green slimes, finding them truly endearing. However, as he approached one of them with care, the slime unexpectedly launched an attack, sending Leng Mo flying several meters away. The pain from the attack fueled Leng Mo's anger, and he now regarded the slime as a troublesome adversary. The slime, on the other hand, looked at Leng Mo with a perplexed expression. Leng Mo's frustration mounted as he tried to convince himself that these slimes were not as cute as he initially thought. He inquired if all slimes behaved this way, to which the chief affirmed. Driven by a desire for revenge and determination, Leng Mo drew his sword, vowing to gather 1,000 slime jellies for Aunt Medea that day. His annoyance grew as he observed the mocking expressions on the slimes' faces. Leng Mo turned to the chief and asked if he could commence the mission immediately. The chief chuckled and commented on how geniuses like Leng Mo were always so eager to jump into action. He also noted that Leng Mo couldn't go very far without his guidance. The chief went on to explain that slimes had a soft and elastic surface, making them resistant to normal attacks. With a mischievous grin, he asked if Leng Mo wanted to know how to deal with them. Leng Mo, nonchalantly stepping on one of the slimes, replied that he would simply do what needed to be done. The chief, looking somewhat concerned, observed Leng Mo's actions. However, Leng Mo suddenly realized that he hadn't been paying full attention to what the chief was explaining. The chief, acknowledging that Leng Mo had taken matters into his own hands, decided to leave him to it, and stepped away. Then the chief began shouting and calling upon a magical beast. This left Leng Mo baffled, wondering why the chief was attempting to summon a beast. Suddenly, the ground cracked open, releasing a potent surge of energy. Leng Mo was utterly astonished by this turn of events, questioning if the chief was truly summoning a beast. With an intense and focused gaze, the chief named his summon Deep Blue and commanded it to appear. In response to the chief's call, a massive creature that resembled a blend of a fat dragon and a unicorn emerged before them. Leng Mo couldn't hide his amazement at the existence of magical beasts in this world. The chief laughed briefly, but then adopted a serious tone, affirming the existence of these creatures without divulging further details. He ordered his summoned Deep Blue to splash water on Leng Mo's face, and then the chief mounted the beast back, riding it away. He advised Leng Mo to focus on dealing with the slimes. Leng Mo decided it was time to prepare for his mission, needing to collect 99 more slime jellies. However, he pondered where he could find such a large number of slimes. As he took a few steps, he suddenly spotted an entire colony of slimes nearby. In the presence of the weird-faced slimes, Leng Mo's irritation reached its peak, and he began banging on various objects, creating loud noises. Back in the village, Leng Mo approached Aunt Medea, informing her that he was right on time to submit his mission. He proudly stated that he had brought 1,000 slimes, ensuring that she had more than enough for her papaya soup. Aunt Medea was utterly shocked by the sight of 1,000 slimes. Word of Leng Mo's venture with 1,000 slimes soon reached the chief, who approached Leng Mo. He jokingly remarked that if he had allowed Leng Mo another month, he might have caused the extinction of slimes in the area. Leng Mo quickly apologized for his earlier behavior, and the chief assigned him a new task, to collect 100 horns from smoked goats. The reward this time would be Uncle Vodad's refined copper ore. Leng Mo was thrilled, and found the 1-week time frame for the job to be quite reasonable. He recognized the value of the refined copper ore as an excellent reward. Drawing from his knowledge of smelting, Leng Mo understood that materials with the highest durability were not single ores, but rather combinations of ores. This realization fueled his determination to acquire all these rare ores. Leng Mo came to realize that removing the horns from the goats might harm or even kill them. However, the chief reassured him, explaining that the goats would regrow their horns within half a year. This assurance relieved Leng Mo's concerns. Now, Leng Mo and the chief stood in front of a horned goat, both feeling a bit anxious as they approached it. Leng Mo couldn't help but find the goat's gaze strangely unsettling, and he wondered why such annoying monsters were present in the village. Just as he was voicing his thoughts, the chief mounted Deep Blue and ordered Leng Mo to deal with the goats on his own. Leng Mo couldn't shake the feeling that the chief might still be upset with him for not following his advice. He decided to take out his axe, viewing it as a great opportunity to practice his 7 deadly slash technique. However, the horned goat initially appeared harmless, which made Leng Mo hesitate, thinking it might be innocent. Suddenly, the goat ambushed him with its spinning horn, launching Leng Mo into a battle with the fierce creature. After a challenging struggle and a series of fights, Leng Mo finally managed to collect 100 horns and delivered them to Uncle Vodad. As night fell, Leng Mo had already collected rare ores and managed to refine them to an impressive purity level of 99.99%. He knew that he needed to gather even more ores to fulfill his ultimate goal, merging them into a single formidable material. Forging had become Leng Mo's most potent skill. Standing next to the forge in the blacksmith shop, Leng Mo contemplated the potential of the copper ores he possessed. He believed that the resulting weapons could surpass even iron in durability. He also realized that he shouldn't squander the remains of Uncle Vodad's refined copper, but rather use them wisely to forge a new and powerful weapon. However, Leng Mo knew he needed more experience to craft the ultimate weapon. Unfortunately, there were no missions available for him that week. Apart from his daily tasks, he spent all his free time immersed in forging. Leng Mo found the process incredibly exciting and rewarding. Finally, after just a week, much faster than his previous attempts, he completed his second masterpiece, an upgraded beginner weapon, the 100 Warring Swords ++. As he held the weapon in his hands, Leng Mo could feel a potent aura emanating from it. With this formidable weapon, he believed he was ready to take on higher-level missions. Leng Mo sought out Chief to share his plans. Chief was surprised by Leng Mo's eagerness and assigned him a mining mission to help him progress further. Leng Mo inquired about the availability of hunting missions, but Chief informed him that none were currently available. Instead, Chief assigned Leng Mo a mining mission, instructing him to gather 100 kilograms of vermilion copper ore. The reward for this task would be a 100-year-old silver marrow ore. Leng Mo entered the mine, equipped with all the necessary gear. As he delved deeper into the mine and spent a considerable amount of time mining, he eventually reached a large underground lake. In the middle of this lake, there was a gleaming ore that caught Leng Mo's attention. Despite his weariness, he wondered if this could be the vermilion copper ore he was tasked with collecting. However, since the ore was located in the center of the lake and Leng Mo was already tired, he hesitated to swim out to it. Suddenly, the seemingly inert ore began to stir and slowly rose into the air, dragging a considerable amount of water with it. Leng Mo was taken aback, his fear growing by the second. Then, the water surrounding the ore cascaded down, revealing a colossal bull-like monster, with the ore forming its head. Terrified, Leng Mo couldn't help but feel that the ore had transformed into a menacing entity to intimidate him. The bull monster's massive eyes bore down on Leng Mo, filling him with anxiety and fear. In a shaky voice, Leng Mo nervously inquired whether the bull had eaten yet that day. He explained that he had only come here for some mining and hadn't intended to disturb the creature's rest. The bull stared at Leng Mo with a perplexed expression, seemingly unable to comprehend his words. Leng Mo continued, expressing his belief in the wisdom of all creatures, be they demons or plants. He believed that communication was possible. However, the bull responded with a thunderous and aggressive moo that sent Leng Mo scrambling in fear. Regaining his composure, Leng Mo reasoned with the bull, explaining that as an herbivore, killing him wouldn't provide any benefits. But the bull's anger only intensified, and it emitted another deafening moo that sent shockwaves through the ground. Leng Mo, feeling the overwhelming pressure and fearing for his life, realized that he hadn't come to this place to be killed by a water bull. Leng Mo, gathering his wits, decided that it was best to hide. He believed that vermilion copper ore could be found elsewhere, not just on the bull beast. As he stood up to sneak away, he suddenly heard heavy, thunderous stomps approaching from ahead. Leng Mo's heart sank as he realized that the source of these earth-shaking steps was the massive bull beast charging straight at him. Panicking, Leng Mo yelled out that the bull had no compassion for weak creatures like himself. The bull charged ferociously, smashing everything in its path. Leng Mo sprinted for his life, his heart racing as he marveled at the beast's incredible resilience. Realizing that he couldn't lead the bull to the village without facing the villagers' anger, Leng Mo was overwhelmed with worry. He imagined the harsh words and criticism people would direct at him if he were to bring this water bull into the village. Tears welled up in his eyes as he feared that it would become a dark chapter in his life. But then, in a moment of clarity, Leng Mo abruptly stopped and clutched his crafted sword tightly in his hand. The bull charged toward him with unrelenting fury, yet Leng Mo's gaze held an unwavering determination. He had made up his mind to face this formidable adversary head-on. The bull charged relentlessly at Leng Mo, its fury and force palpable. Just as it was about to strike, Leng Mo executed his 7 deadly slash technique with lightning speed, slashing at the bull's stomach. In an instant, a wave of slashes erupted, striking the bull with incredible force. The bull's eyes went numb, and Leng Mo's sword gleamed brilliantly in the sunlight. Leng Mo maintained a firm grip on his sword, his eyes reflecting determination and rage. The colossal bull crashed to the ground with a resounding thud. As the bull fell, Lang Mo calmly uttered, "Flawless kill." Suddenly, Chief emerged from behind a bush, a look of surprise on Lang Mo's face. Chief, however, appeared genuinely impressed. Lang Mo's flawless and energetic attack had left Chief amazed and proud of his achievement. Chief rewarded Lang Mo's impressive victory with a tight bear hug, although Lang Mo couldn't help but feel slightly suffocated by Chief's chest hair. Nonetheless, he was touched by Chief's gesture, realizing that Chief had secretly followed him to protect him. With the bull defeated, Lang Mo proceeded to mine the ore from its head. He confirmed that it weighed 100 kilograms, and Chief, standing below, declared that it was enough. Chief wore a genuinely happy expression as he admitted that Lang Mo was undeniably a genius. He had no doubt that Lang Mo would become a great warrior in the future, and he even believed that Lang Mo had the potential to become the #1 sword saint of the Dwarven race. Lang Mo was left bewildered by this revelation, prompting Chief to explain that warriors were ranked in different levels, with Sword Saint being a prestigious and high-ranking title. He added that due to their inability to use battle energy, dwarves were greatly restricted in their martial abilities. The highest level ever reached among them was that of a great sword master. Over the course of 100 million years, only one great sword master had managed to subdue a blazing Tiger King by himself. Lang Mo was truly amazed by this incredible feat. Curious about Chief's own level, Lang Mo inquired about it. Chief responded that he was currently at an advanced warrior level, which was sufficient to defeat a water bull. However, Chief pointed out that Lang Mo had a long way to go because he had relied solely on his intelligence and exploited the water bull's tendency to charge head-on to defeat it. Chief reassured Lang Mo that the ranking was not solely determined by physical strength, and Lang Mo's future was filled with limitless possibilities. He emphasized that despite their inability to use battle energy from birth, the Dwarven race had never given up. They possessed a unique ability, the natural affinity to connect with animals. With enthusiasm, Chief declared that when Lang Mo reached the advanced warrior level, he would teach him how to call forth a beast. Chief encouraged Lang Mo to work hard, believing that one day he would become a great figure in the Dwarven race. This conversation filled both Lang Mo and Chief with hope and pride. Lang Mo then asked Chief to help him carry the ore as he wasn't planning to return just yet. Chief inquired about his intentions. Lang Mo, with a determined expression, revealed that he wanted to stay until he reached the advanced rank. He added that after achieving that, he would return to learn how to call forth a beast. Chief was delighted and proud of Lang Mo's strong work ethic. Lang Mo raised his hand, expressing his commitment to working hard, even though he wasn't a dwarf and could use his battle energy. Lang Mo discovered the resting place of the water bulls and commenced training with other water bulls to enhance his strength. He had to rely solely on his own power to defeat the water bull. Lang Mo was determined to become the world's strongest. The determination in his eyes was evident. Lang Mo could perform the 100-sword technique using either one or both hands. However, it was significantly more potent when he employed both hands, even though it sacrificed some agility for strength, making it 3 times more powerful. As Lang Mo attacked the bull, it sent him soaring into the sky, reaching a staggering height of 14 meters. After this encounter, Lang Mo realized just how challenging it was to conquer a water bull with strength alone. Lang Mo found himself leaning against a rock, contemplating the challenging situation he faced. He remembered how, in the past, he had encountered similar seemingly unsolvable problems, but he never gave up. Today was no different. Motivated by his unwavering determination to never admit defeat as long as he was alive, Lang Mo got back on his feet. From that day forward, his life revolved around a routine of eating, sleeping, and battling water bulls. He consumed horned oats, fell into deep slumbers, and engaged in fierce battles with the water bulls. The routine continued for several days, and on Lang Mo's 75th attempt, the bull charged at him with immense force. The bull charged like a powerful tsunami, and Lang Mo welcomed it eagerly. As the bull's attack struck Lang Mo's sword, he struggled to hold his ground, but the pressure was overwhelming. Lang Mo had to admit that the bull had the upper hand. The bull dragged Lang Mo across the ground, yet he refused to release his block. After a while of being dragged, Lang Mo somehow managed to halt the bull's advance with his unyielding block. Observing his success, Lang Mo felt a sense of accomplishment that he had been striving for a long time. He decided it was time to call it a day. Now, in the darkness of night, Lang Mo rested on a tree branch, content with the thought of getting a restful night's sleep. He anticipated that tomorrow would mark the beginning of his counterattack against the water bull. Lang Mo casually dismissed the idea that achieving an advanced knight rank was challenging. He considered it easy for himself, even thinking of himself as a genius. He believed that things would become dull quickly, just as they had before. Lost in these thoughts, Lang Mo began to settle down for the night. However, suddenly, he heard a swooshing sound and felt a chilly breeze. Lang Mo swiftly stood up, scanning his surroundings, and soon his gaze fell upon a figure standing amidst the forest, emitting a brilliant, intense light. This figure took the form of a majestic lion-like beast, exuding a formidable, powerful wind aura. Lang Mo couldn't help but be taken aback by the radiant blue glow enveloping the creature's body. It became clear to Lang Mo that this majestic blue lion intended to prey upon the water bull, and the difference in power between the two was blatantly evident. An overwhelming sense of dread washed over Lang Mo. and he could feel a spine-chilling aura permeating the atmosphere. His entire body went numb. The entire forest was bathed in the blue radiance emanating from the lion, leaving the water bull utterly terrified and paralyzed with fear. The blue lion gathered a swirling blue energy ball within its jaws, and then launched it in the form of a beam toward the perplexed water bull. The water bull, bewildered by the unfolding events, and Lang Mo, filled with fear, watched as the beam struck the bull, causing it to freeze in place. The air around them chilled as the blue beast exerted its power. Lang Mo found it difficult to believe that this majestic blue lion had effectively frozen the enormous water bull. The blue lion then moved gracefully, absorbing the essence of the water bull through a mysterious process. Suddenly, the frozen ice encasing the bull began to shatter, and the bull was gradually drawn into the mouth of the blue lion. Lang Mo watched in confusion as the blue lion swiftly absorbed the entire water bull, leaving him stunned by the lion's instantaneous and lethal action. It was a shocking realization that, had he not chosen to rest on a tree after his hunting expedition today, his fate might have mirrored that of the water bull, turned into an ice statue, and devoured. This event shed light on the water bull's place in the world's food chain, and it became evident why the chief had cautioned Lang Mo against venturing too deeply into these territories. The water bull was, indeed, at the bottom of the food chain in this unforgiving world. In comparison to the current Lang Mo, the sheer strength of the blue lion was enough to plunge him into despair. While the blue lion may have been just an ordinary beast, it was a stark reminder that there were countless realms of power beyond his current capabilities. To Lang Mo, it felt like he had a long and arduous journey ahead. Back at the village, the chief was engrossed in a game of poker, while his companions discussed the presence of blue lion footprints near the village. The chief remained skeptical, as Lang Mo was still present, and steadfastly committed to his mission. Standing before a group of water bulls, it appeared that Lang Mo had confronted and engaged them all. Lang Mo believed that he had earned the respect of the water bulls through sheer strength. His original plan had been to progress steadily, but the presence of the formidable blue lion had changed everything. Now, he felt the urgency to become stronger at a faster pace. Lang Mo's ultimate goal was to return after locating hematite, as this rare mineral could be exchanged for the exceptionally scarce Holden snakestone. According to legend, adding this precious stone during forging granted a weapon wisdom, endowing it with the ability to self-repair. Lang Mo was determined to find this treasure, as it held great significance. It would serve two purposes if he could return with the hematite. Now, Lang Mo found himself in a desert-like terrain where the scorching temperature was taking a toll on him with its intense heat. Lang Mo experienced extreme heat and regretted not returning to the village to better prepare himself. He considered himself a failed genius for not doing so. Despite these thoughts, he decided to press on, thinking that he had already covered a considerable distance, and it would be a waste to give up now. However, as he continued walking, his stamina depleted rapidly. He soon realized that he had less than half of his stamina remaining. Lang Mo fortunately found water nearby and quickly drank from it. While sitting there and contemplating his next move, he suddenly heard a powerful and intense roar coming from behind him. Lang Mo thought it might be the same blue lion again, so he began running and sought refuge behind a large rock. From his hiding spot, he watched the source of the loud roar. To his surprise, he saw a big snake and a wolf locked in a furious face-off. Both creatures were visibly angry and prepared for battle. However, as Lang Mo witnessed this confrontation, he noticed a piece of hematite nearby. Lang Mo faced a dilemma as the hematite he sought lay at a distance between the two mighty beasts locked in battle. He attempted to sneak past them, but his presence was soon detected by the creatures, and they both let out fierce roars. However, the situation took a turn when the snake and wolf beasts started attacking each other, engaged in a furious battle. Taking advantage of the distraction, Lang Mo made a run for it. He sprinted as fast as he could, and eventually reached a rock where he decided to hide. Lang Mo crouched behind the rock, still hearing the ferocious roars of the battling beasts. He wasn't sure what he should do next. Should he wait for the battle to end, or should he make a move for the hematite? After some time had passed while hiding, the roars ceased, and Lang Mo saw that both the snake and wolf beasts were now unconscious. Lang Mo, thinking the snake and wolf were dead, continued to mine the hematite. However, he suddenly noticed a group of wolf pups near the area. These little wolves were incredibly cute, and their presence distracted Lang Mo. Despite their adorable antics, Lang Mo did his best to ignore them and focused on his task. As he mined the hematite, he couldn't help but steal glances at the wolf pups. They were so endearing, and it was difficult not to be charmed by them. However, his attention was abruptly drawn to a slight movement nearby. To his shock, he saw the mother wolf stirring and then roaring in anger as she woke up. The mother wolf was growling and warning Lang Mo to stay away from her precious pups. Lang Mo understood that if the wolf recovered, she might consider him a threat and attack him. To prevent this, he decided to end her suffering and reduce the danger. Lang Mo took out his sword, but instead of harming the mother wolf, he used it to cut the snake's body. He prepared the roasted snake meat and offered it to the wolf, trying to feed her and ease her pain. Lang Mo sat outside his village house, contemplating that a few weeks had gone by. Even though he had gathered a sufficient amount of ores, he chose to remain and care for the silver wolves. During this time, he also pondered that the snake meat he had consumed appeared to have significant nourishing effects. As Leng Mo contemplated, two little pups approached him, joyfully barking. He couldn't help but think that these little pups had grown more active over the past few days, now able to jump around. Sitting with the wolves, he reflected on their mother, realizing that she had made a remarkable recovery after consuming the snake meat. She had been enjoying peaceful days with her pack of silver wolves. As Leng Mo observed the mother wolf's health improving, he made the decision that it was time for him to depart. However, before leaving, the mother wolf halted him, her gaze suggesting she had something crucial to convey. Even though he wasn't quite sure why, he found himself able to grasp her intentions. Under the cover of night, two figures dashed swiftly through the forest, with Leng Mo in pursuit of the mother wolf. To his surprise, the mother wolf matched his fastest pace without showing any signs of exhaustion. He couldn't help but sense that she was no ordinary demon beast. Soon after, the mother wolf led him to a cave deep within the forest, clearly indicating that she wanted him to enter. At this point, he had no reason to decline her wishes. As he stepped into the cave, he suddenly found himself falling down a steep pit. The descent was deep, and during the fall, he realized that the pit was at least several hundred meters deep. As Leng Mo tumbled into the pit with the mother wolf, he spotted a golden pearl resting in the cave. The pearl exuded a delightful aroma, prompting Leng Mo to inquire whether it was edible. After picking up the pearl, he discovered that it was indeed consumable and offered it to the mother wolf, who ate it. Leng Mo, curious and trusting his instincts, also decided to taste the pearl. To his surprise, it turned out to be quite delicious. The fruit's juices were rich, and they flowed down Leng Mo's throat, filling his senses with a potent taste. But soon after savoring the flavor, his stomach began to feel strange and warm. It was as if a volcano erupted within him, creating a burning sensation that consumed his body. The intense heat made him scream in pain, and it felt like his body might collapse. Desperate to find relief, Leng Mo attempted to calm himself in the midst of this scorching torment. He turned to meditation, trying to harness the searing heat and circulate it throughout his entire body, infusing every single cell with its fiery energy. The next day arrived, and the forest had returned to its usual peaceful state, as if nothing had happened the previous night. Leng Mo sat on a large rock, deep in meditation. He took a deep breath, and, when he opened his eyes, they gleamed with newfound power and determination. Leng Mo's arm emitted a radiant golden light, and after an unknown duration of time, he finally emerged from his meditation. Unbeknownst to him, a remarkable transformation had taken place within his body. It was as if the entire sun had found its home within him. Leng Mo's body had absorbed all the heat energy, to be precise. 99.99% of it now coursed through his meridians. His entire being was brimming with this newfound energy, and he couldn't help but wonder if it was the wolves' way of repaying his kindness. As he recalled the time he had been left in the cave, the silver wolves had vanished, leaving him with only those hematites. Upon returning to the village, Uncle Valdo warmly greeted Leng Mo, expressing his happiness that he had survived. Leng Mo offered the special hematite with the unique ore to Uncle Valdo, and it was indeed a beautiful and more vibrant specimen compared to the others. Uncle Valdo carefully examined the legendary bloodstone in Leng Mo's possession, recognizing its rarity. Suddenly, Uncle Valdo surprised everyone by striking his own head with a glass bottle, causing it to bleed. The drops of blood fell onto the bloodstone. Leng Mo was left confused, wondering what Uncle Valdo was doing. Valdo seized the bloodstone, and as he did, it began to emit a fiery burn where his blood had touched it. He went on to explain that the bloodstone granted its user immensely powerful fire abilities and boundless stamina. Leng Mo couldn't help but worry about the bleeding wound on Uncle Valdo's head. Surprisingly, Uncle Valdo handed the bloodstone to Leng Mo, telling him it was now his. Leng Mo was taken aback by this sudden act of kindness, and inquired if Uncle Valdo still intended to forge a NB weapon. In response, Valdo revealed that he had only needed those hematites initially. Understanding the importance of strengthening himself to forge a potent weapon, Leng Mo resumed his training against the water bulls. His progress became evident as his strength noticeably increased, and he became exceptionally swift. No longer a mere beginner warrior, he was now a formidable force. After consuming the red fruit, Leng Mo experienced a significant surge in strength. One moment that truly showcased his newfound power was when he encountered the blue lion once again in the wilderness. Leng Mo faced the blue lion head-on. The blue lion had effortlessly dispatched a water bull just moments before, displaying incredible speed. It froze Leng Mo in place in the blink of an eye. As Leng Mo stood frozen, he believed his end was near, and the lion would surely destroy him. But in an unexpected turn of events, the ice surrounding Leng Mo melted just as quickly as it had formed, leaving the blue lion baffled. The blue lion conjured another spell, preparing to strike at Leng Mo. Desperately, Leng Mo attempted to evade the attack, but he was caught in the lion's freeze beam once more. This time, however, he remained frozen for only a few seconds. Leng Mo realized that the reason he couldn't be frozen might be due to the intense energy his body was generating. After the lion's unsuccessful attack, it displayed a look of disappointment, turned away, and wandered off without a backward glance. This left Leng Mo feeling somewhat bewildered. Inside Leng Mo's body, there was a powerful surge of heat energy coursing through him. Thankfully, he had been diligently circulating the divine 9 suns within him. Otherwise, he might have succumbed to the scorching heat. His current condition left him with an extraordinary but challenging level of strength. Leng Mo couldn't recall the exact date, but he witnessed a distant meteorite plummeting from the sky. It unmistakably resembled a meteorite rather than the transcendence of another being. When the meteorite struck the ground, the village chief was delighted, knowing that it would provide a substantial amount of meteorite ore. He swiftly gathered all the villagers and instructed them to extract the meteorite from the fallen rock. Eventually, one of the villagers discovered a small meteorite ore within it, but it was clear that there were more to be found, which would need to be shared. The village chief addressed the villagers, explaining that the meteorite was just a small piece of the whole, and he would decide who would receive it. He then turned his gaze towards Leng Mo and declared that it would go to him as a token of gratitude for his significant contributions to the village, particularly in gathering various ores. The villagers unanimously agreed with the chief's decision, and the chief, wearing a determined expression, announced that all the rare ores owned by the villagers were now in Leng Mo's possession. Their plan was to forge a formidable weapon using these rare resources. The villagers erupted into cheers for Leng Mo, and were more than willing to contribute their valuable ores to the cause. Seeing the trust and support of the entire village, Leng Mo felt deeply moved, and tears welled up in his eyes. The village chief handed over the collected ores to Leng Mo, gazing into his eyes and expressing the village's anticipation of the powerful weapon he would create. Touched by their faith in him, Leng Mo now had a wealth of diverse and precious ores at his disposal, ready to begin the forging process for a mighty weapon. Leng Mo found himself in the forging shop, ready to commence the sword-making process. He had a basket filled with tempered stone, and as he began, he spilled his own blood into it. The tempered stone absorbed his blood, increasing the temperature required for melting the remaining minerals. The stone started producing a tremendous amount of heat energy, shining as brilliantly as the sun. Witnessing this incredible display, all the villagers were left in awe. However, the village chief believed that the current temperature still wasn't high enough. Blood spattered around as Leng Mo continued his work, and after nearly 5 minutes, he realized it was becoming dangerous to lose any more blood. Dizziness began to set in as the blood loss took its toll. Observing Leng Mo's condition, the village chief grew deeply concerned. In response, Leng Mo made a risky decision. He cut open another wound to increase the rate at which blood flowed. This action heightened the chief's worries for Leng Mo's well-being. Suddenly, the light emitted by the stones intensified, shining as brightly as a sunbeam, and an overwhelming heat filled the area. Recognizing the potential danger, the village chief suggested that everyone evacuate and wait outside. Though hesitant to leave Leng Mo behind, they ultimately trusted his judgment and actions. The village chief concluded that their presence in the forging shop would only be a hindrance to Leng Mo, and might disrupt his concentration. With unanimous agreement, they decided to wait outside. While waiting, the village chief contemplated that Leng Mo might now be in his first hardening stage, a moment of significant progress. The excited chatter among the other villagers filled the air. As they were talking, Leng Mo emerged from the forging shop and carefully dropped a large red-hot block into the water. The intense heat instantly began to evaporate the water, and it didn't stop there. The heat was so powerful that it eventually evaporated the entire lake. The villagers were left both astonished and perplexed by this incredible sight. The village chief contemplated where they should go to catch a glimpse of Leng Mo, or if he might have been affected by the water vapors. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed from the vapor cloud created by the heat, leading the chief to believe it was the thunderous sound of Leng Mo's forging, an utterly astonishing sight. An hour passed, and Leng Mo continued to laboriously forge with loud, resonating blows. After a while, the deafening noise ceased, and a serene calmness enveloped the area. But then, a powerful wind started to swirl around them, and an enormous cloud filled with thunder began to form in the sky. Suddenly, the sky split open, and a mighty lightning bolt struck the ground, hitting Leng Mo. The villagers and the chief were overcome with worry, but the chief attempted to reassure everyone. He stated that Leng Mo would be okay, and that he might have successfully forged something extraordinary. He added that it would be one of the mightiest weapons of their time, destined to be etched in the annals of forging history. Amidst the red aesthetic storm, Leng Mo emerged, holding a long, exquisite Immortal Slayer sword, his creation now complete. The newly forged sword, named the Evil Immortal Slayer, possessed an incredible strength capable of splitting open an entire mountain with a single strike. It also held a mysterious power within it, which added to its allure. What astonished Leng Mo most, however, was the fact that while the village head had struggled mightily to carry the 83 KT Evil Immortal Slayer, Leng Mo handled it with ease. He could effortlessly implement his Nine-Yang technique with the sword, making it feel like a natural extension of himself. The Evil Immortal Slayer was both exceptionally robust and razor-sharp. earning the approval of the village chief. It was truly worthy of being called a divine weapon. During this forging process, the village head witnessed Leng Mo's advancement to the warrior stage, a significant milestone in his journey. Leng Mo had achieved impressive speed, but struggled a bit with accuracy in his sword-slashing techniques. He recognized that he needed to balance speed, power, and accuracy, believing that the dwarves' expertise lay in these areas. The villagers were elated by Leng Mo's successful advancement to the warrior stage, and they celebrated the occasion all through the night. The following morning, as the sun rose and painted the sky with its beauty, Leng Mo lay beside a tree, mesmerized by the breathtaking sunrise, considering it the most stunning one he had ever witnessed. On the third day, the village head, Grandpa, called upon everyone to gather at the village square, signaling the start of a new development. In a significant and solemn ceremony, the village chief announced to the gathered crowd that they would inscribe the guardian deity of the dwarf race onto Leng Mo's right arm. The tattooing ceremony was straightforward, yet deeply meaningful. The phoenix tattoo symbolized that Leng Mo had earned the acknowledgement of the dwarf race, as the ink used for the tattoo was made from the blood of every dwarf. Surrounded by the villagers, they all hoped for Leng Mo's safety and placed their trust in him. As the ceremony concluded, Leng Mo bore the tattoo symbolizing the unity and trust of the dwarf race. From that day forward, the blood of the dwarf race flowed within him, and he became a source of pride for them. The villagers of the dwarf village gathered around Leng Mo, cheering and showing their support. Leng Mo was overwhelmed by their encouragement and expressed his gratitude to them. 3 days later, village head Gramps, along with 6 elders and some young dwarfs, joined Leng Mo on a boat trip to the Temple of Phoenix, located on a serene lake. The temple was a stunning sight, and they proudly showcased the statue of the guardian deity. Inside the temple, they revealed the Temple of the Phoenix, leaving Leng Mo deeply impressed and awestruck by its beauty. The village chief then found a spot and began chanting, invoking blessings for Leng Mo's strength and powers at this sacred place. The other villagers joined in, encircling Leng Mo and chanting fervently for his power and skills. An extraordinary event unfolded as the eyes of the phoenix statue surrounding Leng Mo began to glow, radiating an intense bright light. A powerful wind swirled around him, and he felt as if a sacred force had entered his body. Suddenly, the temple burst open, and strong beams of light emanated from within. Leng Mo was baffled by the sudden appearance of a knight-like figure. As the light gradually settled, the village chief explained to Leng Mo that he had now been bestowed with the ability to summon his own Yudaman, a blessing from the guardian deity. Upon hearing the villagers' heartfelt support and witnessing the blessings bestowed upon him, Leng Mo was overcome with emotion. He realized how self-centered he had been and felt deeply touched by the kindness and generosity of these people who had helped a complete stranger. Tears welled up in his eyes and rolled down his face. As he cried, Leng Mo expressed his gratitude to the villagers, although they couldn't understand why he was so moved. In that moment, Leng Mo wished they could all remain together, living in harmony forever. However, their newfound peace was shattered when an invader descended upon the dwarf village, unleashing a horrific massacre. They treated the villagers like livestock, and the cruel invaders even took the life of Uncle Volden. Returning from the Temple of Phoenix, Leng Mo was brimming with excitement and happiness, thrilled that he had been recognized by the guardian deity. He couldn't contain his joy and was running back to the village. Seeing Leng Mo's jubilant state, the village chief and the people with him were equally elated for Leng Mo. Leng Mo was ecstatic about becoming a member of the dwarf race and feeling the sense of recognition once more. However, as Leng Mo reached the entrance gate of the dwarf village, his excitement suddenly transformed into confusion. There was a disturbing sight, with a lot of blood spattered at the entrance, leaving him bewildered. Leng Mo was initially perplexed by the sight of blood on the ground and the lifeless bodies of the villagers. He desperately called out to them, urging them to wake up, unaware that they were already dead. The horrifying reality slowly dawned on him, and he remembered that his dear Uncle Vlado and Auntie Malia were among those lost. Leng Mo couldn't fathom who could commit such a brutal act against his peaceful village. As others arrived at the scene, the village chief, witnessing the devastation, swiftly gave orders for everyone to disperse and search for the assassins. Meanwhile, Leng Mo stood in shock, his peaceful life suddenly shattered into pieces, struggling to come to terms with the tragedy that had befallen his village. Leng Mo stood there, still and in shock, as the rain poured down. The village chief returned, urging Leng Mo to leave because the village was no longer safe, having been invaded by human assassins who might return. In a sudden burst of anger and pure rage, Leng Mo turned toward the chief and vehemently demanded that they not let the assassins escape without consequences. He declared that the debts of blood should be repaid with blood, and they needed to take action. The village chief, maintaining a resolute demeanor as a leader, acknowledged his desire for revenge but explained that he couldn't risk losing the last bloodlines of the dwarf race. He emphasized that, as the village chief, he couldn't afford to lose emotional control. Leng Mo embraced the village chief, recognizing the immense burden the chief bore, torn between his personal desires for vengeance and the responsibility to protect their race. While Leng Mo shared the chief's determination for revenge and the desire to make those responsible pay for the pain they had inflicted, he understood the chief's perspective. Suddenly, a potent aura began to emanate from Leng Mo, and his eyes emitted a formidable, smoky aura. He was resolute and unwavering in his commitment to seek revenge for his village. This marked a significant change in Leng Mo's personality, as the negative aspects of his character began to surface. In the years that followed, Leng Mo would become known to mankind as an immortal of malevolence, a symbol of his unrelenting pursuit of vengeance. A few weeks later, Leng Mo and the village chief ventured into the Silver Wolf's territory within the jungle. Leng Mo proudly introduced the chief to the mother wolf and her pups. To Leng Mo's surprise, he discovered that the silver wolf he had saved previously was the king of the forest, holding a position of great authority. It became evident that the silver wolf was among the top 10 most powerful beasts in the region, possessing the unique ability to summon other wolves by howling within a specific radius. This revelation added to the awe-inspiring nature of their encounter. The silver wolf possessed the remarkable ability to command his wolf army with just a single howl. Thanks to the strong connection between Leng Mo and the silver wolf, Leng Mo generously allowed the Dwarven race to settle in his territory. This gesture eased his mind, knowing that they had found a new place to call home. Unbeknownst to anyone at that time, the Dwarven race, led by 6 elders and 44 pairs of young dwarves, would eventually grow to a population numbering in the millions and billions. This transformation took place in the once insignificant forest, marking the remarkable evolution of their race over millions of years. With heartfelt farewells, Leng Mo bid everyone a safe goodbye and embarked on his path of revenge. He had prepared himself to face all the consequences, and he walked with unwavering determination. Leng Mo's resolve was so strong that he was willing to risk his life for this cause, never giving up. In his memory crystal, Leng Mo held the images of the faces of all the criminals within the Empire of Fragrance, and he was resolute in his mission to find and eliminate each one of them. Leng Mo eventually reached a bustling human city, marked by its towering buildings that reached high into the clouds. The people in this city resembled humans in appearance. When Leng Mo attempted to enter the castle, he was halted by 2 guards who requested an entry pass. Leng Mo was perplexed by this request, which seemed unfamiliar to him. The guards, sensing his confusion, became more alert. Leng Mo decided to try a different approach, and thought that if he acted cute or like a child, perhaps they would allow him entry. However, despite his efforts to act adorable, he found himself confined behind bars. They transported Leng Mo in a carriage, and as he peered outside, he noticed that the people in this city had a somewhat European look. However, he couldn't fathom why they were all giving him strange looks. Leng Mo was escorted to the palace and brought before the king. The king inquired if Leng Mo was the individual who lacked the entry pass, raising suspicions of him being a spy from another country. He further questioned Leng Mo about his place of origin, and Leng Mo truthfully replied that he came from a small village. Upon hearing that Leng Mo hailed from a humble village, the king abruptly ordered his guards to carry out his execution. The guards swiftly seized Leng Mo and dragged him away to face this grim fate. Leng Mo, in a desperate attempt to save himself, began to resist and shout that he was just a child and not a spy. He vehemently protested against the unjust treatment he was facing. The king, with a puzzled expression, explained that the Empire of Sunset had been engaged in a long-standing conflict with the Empire of Fragrance. However, Leng Mo's mind was consumed with thoughts of vengeance after hearing the mention of the Empire of Fragrance. The king questioned Leng Mo, asking if he had any connections with those who sought to harm their nation, but Leng Mo's thoughts were focused on his own plans for revenge. Leng Mo made a humble request to the king, asking that if his fate was to die, he would prefer to meet his end on the battlefield, serving in their military. The king, initially taken aback, was surprised by Leng Mo's courage. Leng Mo assured the king that he was already an advanced warrior and could be of great use to their army. Impressed by Leng Mo's determination, the king rose from his seat and declared that Leng Mo could be placed in the Dare to Die group. In simpler terms, this group consisted of individuals who were at the forefront of battle, initiating the fight. The primary objective of the Dare to Die group was to harness the enemy's main force and use it against them. For those in this group, there was no escape. Whether they charged forward or attempted to flee, death was the likely outcome. What's more, the survival rate in the Dare to Die group was less than 1%. Leng Mo, his face filled with determination, stated that he was fully prepared for these odds. The king, observing Leng Mo's resolute spirit, was deeply impressed and gave the order for his knights to place Leng Mo within the Dare to Die group. As the knights escorted Leng Mo away, the king couldn't help but notice something different in his eyes compared to the other members. Leng Mo hadn't expected to locate the members of the Fragrance so quickly, and he felt a sense of satisfaction, knowing that he was now closer to exacting his revenge. The king recognized that Leng Mo's name and attitude were well suited for the military, and he exuded a unique aura. The following morning, guards escorted Leng Mo to the training site. As Leng Mo observed the campsite of the Dare to Die group, he found it to be an eerily quiet place. He caught the faint smell of the streets and noticed numerous other trainees, all appearing quite serious. Lang Mo couldn't help but sense the despair that hung in the air, and he saw the pain and hopelessness reflected in the eyes of those around him. Suddenly, a stern-looking man arrived on the scene, and his demeanor matched the seriousness of the situation. Lang Mo immediately sensed the imposing presence of the man as he approached. There was an undeniable air of danger about him. The man inquired if Lang Mo was the new recruit, asking for his name. Lang Mo introduced himself, and for a moment, a strange silence hung between them as they locked eyes. Suddenly, the man's demeanor shifted, and he broke into a smile. In a cheerful tone, he introduced himself as Lan Qi, and informed Lang Mo that he was now under his command. He encouraged Lang Mo to enjoy his time while he could, as the next battle loomed. Lan Qi explained that there was little discipline in their group, but emphasized the importance of promptly responding to the sound of horns when they needed to gather. Lang Mo understood that failing to follow orders would result in consequences, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease after Lan Qi's departure. It was clear that there was no room for mistakes in this environment. Lang Mo made his way to the tent that would be his new home within the camp. As he neared the center of the camp, he noticed a pungent odor that grew stronger, as if something was decaying within. Nevertheless, in comparison to the putrid stench he had encountered upon returning to the dwarf village, this smell seemed relatively mild. As Lang Mo walked through the camp, he accidentally bumped into a soldier who initially adopted a confrontational attitude. However, upon catching a glimpse of Lang Mo's intense and vengeful gaze, the soldier quickly became intimidated and rattled. Lang Mo paid little heed to him and proceeded to the front of his tent, which appeared larger than the others. Upon entering his tent, Lang Mo was surprised to find it already occupied by several individuals. He mused that there was no need to be concerned for his own well-being, given that they were all destined to meet a grim fate. The people inside the tent appeared to be quite diverse, and there were a total of 4 individuals present. Among them was a man with red hair, who had a substantial sword wrapped in red cloth. Among the other occupants of the tent, Lang Mo noticed a young man with green hair who carried a dagger as his weapon. There was also a woman with blue hair and eyes, seemingly emitting an aura of icy cold. The 4th member was a girl who held nothing more than a book. Lang Mo couldn't help but realize that each of them possessed unique and exceptional skills. He wondered why only 4 individuals were accommodated in a tent meant for 30, but he reminded himself not to dwell on it, as his vengeance was his primary focus. Suddenly a horn sounded, and in response, all the squad members leaped into action. Lang Mo and his 4 tent mates swiftly bolted toward their designated positions as they prepared for what lay ahead. As Lang Mo observed his fellow squad members bolting into action, he couldn't help but notice their distinct qualities. The girl with the book moved with the swiftness of the wind, light and agile. The red-haired man was explosive, akin to a piercing bullet. The woman with snowy attributes had a gentle but rapid flow, like an intangible current. The green-haired teenager, on the other hand, possessed a steady and formidable force, reminiscent of the Dwarven race. Lang Mo realized that he needed to pick up the pace to avoid being late on his first day. He pushed himself to sprint at full speed, but as he ran, he felt a new power welling up within him. He couldn't be certain if it was the energy he had stored during his training or something entirely different. Regardless, Lang Mo was experiencing significant growth, and he hadn't fully grasped the extent of it. Lang Mo's newfound speed and agility left his 4 tent mates in awe. Their eyes widened as they watched him dart past them, his movements seemingly impossible. The lady among them was particularly astounded by Lang Mo's incredible speed. They couldn't fathom how he could move so swiftly. Lang Mo's remarkable display continued, as he gracefully hopped across tree branches and landed on the water's surface, without creating so much as a ripple. This left all 4 members of their squad completely shocked, wondering who Lang Mo was and where he had come from. As they gathered behind him, the other squad members couldn't help but chatter excitedly about his extraordinary speed and agility. Lang Mo himself found it hard to believe how he had achieved such incredible speed so quickly. The girl with the book seemed intrigued by Lang Mo's abilities, and considered him a hidden talent. The training in the death squad was quite simple, as there wasn't much reason to invest in extensive training since they were all expected to die. Their primary focus was on discipline and obedience to higher-ups' orders. They were trained to listen for commands and promptly execute them, which usually involved sprinting to designated locations. After a day of monotonous training, they all returned to their tents. Lang Mo found the camp to be devoid of any activities or entertainment, and there was nothing in particular that he wanted to do in that place. Lang Mo sat in his tent, clutching the stone in his hand, his thoughts consumed by thoughts of revenge. As he contemplated his plans for vengeance, his tent mates approached him. Lang Mo informed them that he wasn't in a good mood and didn't want to cause any trouble, but they had a different matter to discuss. They explained that they needed to choose a leader for their tent to maintain order and prevent conflicts. It was crucial for them to have someone in charge to avoid chaos. They introduced themselves to Lang Mo. The guy with red hair was called Red, the girl with the book was Code, the teenage boy was Green, and the girl with snowy aura was Blue. They were deciding who would become the leader of their tent. Code suggested Lang Mo as their leader, recognizing his competence and strength. However, Lang Mo humbly declined, stating that he wasn't interested in leadership and that winning a race meant nothing to him. He believed that speed was just one element of combat. Lang Mo proposed a different kind of competition, one where they would compete to see who could eliminate the most enemies. He called on everyone to join this contest. Initially, the others were a bit uncertain, but Lang Mo's motivational words swayed them. He emphasized the importance of sticking together and surviving no matter what. Upon hearing this, Code responded by expressing his doubts. He felt it was easier said than done, considering that they were just advanced warriors. Lang Mo, wearing a determined expression, questioned what the potential outcome would be if they all used their QI simultaneously, as using it individually was proving challenging. Code was perplexed by this idea. Lang Mo proceeded to clarify his proposal, explaining that by uniting their QI powers, they could create protective layers. He emphasized that if they could endure the initial attack, they would effectively penetrate the enemy's territory. This strategy would provide them with a better chance of survival and success. Code expressed her concern, mentioning that a single attack could deplete a significant portion of their QI. Lang Mo responded, assuring them that their adversaries had no QI abilities, making the task less daunting. However, Code worried that once they infiltrated enemy territory, they would be at constant risk of losing their lives. Lang Mo, filled with unwavering determination, declared that when they were inside the enemy's domain, the responsibility would fall squarely on his shoulders. This declaration left Code somewhat anxious, and he inquired if Lang Mo would be able to manage on his own. Lang Mo, with a resolute glint in his eyes, assured Code that he would do everything in his power to survive. Impressed by Lang Mo's unwavering determination, Code sought the opinion of the others. Red, Green, and Blue all concurred with Lang Mo's plan. With a collective decision in place, Code suggested that they should begin practicing their coordination immediately and avoid any further delays. They began their coordination practice with Lang Mo positioned in the middle of the team, unable to use QI. During their practice, they realized that when the QI of 4 different elements combined simultaneously, it caused a powerful explosion. While practicing, an unexpected explosion occurred, startling the locals who thought they were under attack. Lan Chi in his camp also panicked, believing that their base was being assaulted. He saw smoke surrounding Lang Mo's tent and the tents of his 4 comrades, suspecting they were planning an escape. However, as the smoke settled, a bright, intense light emerged, and within that brilliance, Lang Mo appeared with minor injuries. Spectators were baffled by how Lang Mo survived the blast. Lang Mo swiftly unsheathed his Immortal Slayer sword and began wielding it with great skill and determination. Onlookers were thoroughly perplexed by Lang Mo's actions. Lan Chi too couldn't fathom whether Lang Mo was attempting to harm someone or if he had lost his mind. However, as Lan Chi observed the clarity in Lang Mo's eyes, he realized that Lang Mo was far from insane. Lang Mo remained resolute as his teammates joined him, helping him stand. Code, wearing a confident expression, spoke up, explaining that even though the QI of 4 different elements couldn't coexist for an extended period, it was enough time for them to endure. With a smile, Lang Mo whispered that they must persevere. The group shared a hearty laugh in response to Code's words, reiterating their determination to survive. However, Lan Chi remained bewildered, wondering if they had forgotten that their group had been formed with the sole purpose of their demise. Watching Lang Mo and the others laugh together was an entirely new experience for Lan Chi, who had always been accustomed to a bleak and hopeless existence, marked by the constant specter of death. Having witnessed the loss of his allies one by one, Lan Chi had long given up hope of survival. It was then that Lan Chi made a request to be stationed at this camp of despair, where the odds of survival appeared incredibly slim. Lan Chi had initially desired to spend the rest of his days in the camp of despair, but witnessing Lang Mo's team's newfound determination was breaking his resolve. The flood of emotions overwhelmed him, and he couldn't hold back his tears. Lan Chi, who had always been running from the grim reality more than anyone else, yearned for survival. Filled with a surge of emotions and with tears streaming down his face, Lan Chi shouted that they must survive. He then gave an order to Lang Mo's group, declaring that they no longer needed to attend further training sessions. Lang Mo was left bewildered by this sudden change in direction. Under Lan Chi's orders, everyone else began training vigorously to enhance their stamina, embarking on a challenging 100-kilometer run. Lan Chi departed, feeling that this was the best he could do to support his comrades. Meanwhile, Lang Mo and his team were brimming with happiness and a strong determination to improve themselves. Over the next few days, they tirelessly worked on strengthening their teamwork. With each practice session, their timing became more precise, and as the impending battle drew nearer, their hearts grew stronger and their camaraderie deepened. The time for war had arrived, and both armies were prepared for battle. General Ji, leading the Dare to Die group, gave the order to charge. Lang Mo and his team followed closely behind, all resolute and ready to fight for their survival. Lang Mo had eagerly awaited this moment, craving a genuine battlefield experience, and now he was fully immersed in it. The atmosphere was unlike anything he had read about in the manhwas from his previous world. However, the overwhelming chance of the millions on the opposing side were exerting real pressure on Lang Mo. While he contemplated the impending battle, he sensed a strong aura of murderous intent behind him. It was green, and his teammates informed Lang Mo that he would enter a frenzied state before every battle, as killing was innate to him. Green's eyes blazed with an unadulterated desire to kill, and he was prepared for the fight. Red noticed that Code appeared a bit nervous. She encouraged him, assuring that she trusted him. Code's concern stemmed from a change in the situation, as both sides were now using short bows, and the distance between them was substantial, beyond the effective range of these bows. This meant that enemy arrows would likely miss Lang Mo's Dare to Die group, allowing them to approach the enemy lines more easily and join forces with their counterparts. They devised a plan to form a human shield to protect Lang Mo, concealing him behind their ranks. When they drew near the enemy lines, Lang Mo would launch his attack, making it easier for him. Code instructed Red to keep a close eye on Green, especially when he went into his battle frenzy. Code was determined that precise timing would significantly boost their chances of survival on this crucial day. Blue delivered an emotionally charged speech about the prospect of facing death together and being honored in doing so. Lang Mo was somewhat taken aback by Blue's ability to craft such a speech in the midst of battle preparations. Blue continued to recite the speech with tears in her eyes, reading from a paper, while the others impatiently awaited its conclusion. Afterward, Lang Mo rallied everyone, encouraging them to muster their spirits and prepare for the signal, which would come with the sounding of the horn. Suddenly, the horn resounded, and the entire group's adrenaline surged to its peak. Lang Mo's team sprinted toward the battlefield with remarkable speed, leaving onlookers, including the enemy, astounded. The foes were unsure whether to start shooting arrows or not, as they were taken aback by the audacity of Lang Mo's charge. In a matter of seconds, Lang Mo's group had swiftly moved beyond the enemy's shooting range, prompting the adversaries to begin firing their arrows. Lang Mo was delighted to see that their plan was indeed working. The enemy commander swiftly gave orders for the heavily armored soldiers to move to the front and defend against Lang Mo's Dare to Die group. Meanwhile, arrows continued to fly over Lang Mo's group, missing them narrowly as they advanced. Now, Lang Mo's team was dangerously close to the enemy territory, causing shock among the adversaries at how rapidly they had approached. Lang Mo, charging towards the enemy, shouted, "Start!" and leaped into their midst, declaring that they should leave the rest to him. Witnessing Lang Mo's decisive action, his group members were filled with excitement, knowing that Lang Mo was about to unleash a devastating blow. As arrows rained down upon Lang Mo's group, they swiftly raised their shields, causing an explosion. Seizing the momentum from this explosion, Lang Mo drew his sword and leaped right into the heart of the enemy lines, sword poised for action. Lang Mo had arrived in this world with nothing, feeling utterly alone. However, the dwarf people had taught him everything he knew, and he couldn't bear the thought of them enduring such a tragedy. Filled with rage, he swung his sword with all his might, while soaring through the air, striking down with a tremendous explosion. Witnessing this, Code, Red, and Green were genuinely astonished. The enemy commander, witnessing Lang Mo's incredible display, grew increasingly concerned. In desperation, he ordered his army to kill all the Dare to Die members and leave no survivors. The enemy leader was baffled by how Lang Mo's group had approached so quickly while skillfully dodging the arrows. General G, observing Lang Mo's movements, was genuinely impressed by their prowess. In the enemy lines, fear spread as they marveled at Lang Mo's speed and strength. Lang Mo, now amidst the enemy ranks, contemplated creating a path through the bloodshed to fight his way out. The enemy lines trembled with fear as they watched Lang Mo charge, unsure of how to face his relentless assault. Lang Mo, fueled by determination and anger, swung his Immortal Slayer sword at the enemy lines with a burning desire for revenge against those who had decimated his people and invaded his village. However, his attack met an unexpected obstacle, a powerful defense that pushed him back with immense pressure. Lang Mo's eyes widened as he saw heavily armored warriors, formidable opponents standing in his way. Their strength and resilience caught him by surprise, as he hadn't anticipated the enemy sending soldiers of such a high caliber to confront them. Code and Red, watching the situation unfold, felt deep concern for Lang Mo. As Lang Mo looked back at his group, he realized that their QI hadn't fully replenished yet. If they couldn't continue fighting, their lives would be in grave danger. Lang Mo stood his ground against these formidable soldiers, his mind racing with a sudden plan. He vanished from the sight of the charging soldiers just as they attacked, using his exceptional speed to circle around them while taunting them with his words. The soldiers were left bewildered and confused by this unexpected tactic. Lang Mo concentrated all his QI into his legs, ensuring that even the advanced warriors couldn't catch up to him. He continued to taunt and mock the soldiers while circling them and launching his attacks from different angles, avoiding a head-on confrontation. Lang Mo employed angled techniques to easily evade the Grade 8 soldiers' strikes, and whenever they had an opportunity to hit him, their view was obstructed by their own comrades. Meanwhile, Lang Mo's group steadily took down the enemy's Dare to Die group, while the Grade 8 soldiers found their mental endurance stretched to its limits. Then, in a momentary lapse, one of the soldiers made a mistake, creating an opening for Lang Mo to attack. Seizing the opportunity, Lang Mo swiftly and decisively struck down the soldier. His fellow group members were left in awe, witnessing Lang Mo's impressive skills. Leng Mo hadn't even used his full strength, yet the enemies were falling before him. However, something extraordinary happened. Leng Mo began to emit a radiant glow as he absorbed the fallen soldier's essence. His sword, the Immortal Slayer, started emanating a brilliant, radiant light, completely absorbing the enemy's essence. Leng Mo felt a surge in his QI, and the energy of his divine weapon grew stronger. He realized that this was the effect of the rare ores he had used in forging the sword. Leng Mo believed that the Immortal Slayer sword carried the spirits of all those who had contributed their rare ores, and now they were blessing him. As he thought of this, the enemy lines watched in astonishment and fear as Leng Mo and the Dare to Die group displayed their newfound power. With their QI fully replenished, Leng Mo gave the order for his group to launch their attack. As the battle raged on, many enemy soldiers fell under the relentless onslaught, and the brutality with which they were killed sent shivers of terror through the enemy lines. Leng Mo was responsible for much of this carnage, appearing as an avenging figure who seemed to crave nothing but revenge and bloodshed. His group began to worry about the transformation they witnessed in him. The enemy, witnessing Leng Mo in this fearsome state, began to view him as an otherworldly being, a demon immortal, making them hesitant to engage him in combat. 2 hours ago, Leng Mo's group had been executing their plan flawlessly, striking fear into the hearts of the enemy forces. People were beginning to recognize Leng Mo as an extraordinary talent on the battlefield. However, as Leng Mo ruthlessly dispatched the Grade 8 soldiers, a sinister desire to kill began to manifest within him. He felt like he was becoming addicted to the act of taking lives. Leng Mo couldn't discern if it was his own nature or the influence of the Immortal Slayer sword, but one thing was undeniable. It felt incredibly satisfying. As he wielded the sword, it absorbed substantial amounts of energy from each fallen soldier, but the negative emotions surrounding death, such as anger, hatred, and unwillingness, were accumulating within Leng Mo like a flood of oil pouring onto a raging fire. Seeing Leng Mo in his menacing state, the enemy lines were drenched in sweat, gripped by fear. The soldiers were continuously falling before him, and Leng Mo's strength was growing more powerful and malevolent with each kill. Leng Mo returned to his group, and Code inquired about his well-being. Leng Mo, emanating a new aura of darkness and strength, replied that he was feeling better than he ever had before. Suddenly, the enemy Dare to Die group attempted to launch a sneak attack on Leng Mo, but with a sinister smile, he swung his sword. As the sword cut through the air, a wave of fire instantly reduced the attackers to ashes in the blink of an eye. Leng Mo continued his relentless onslaught, feeling an unending surge of energy coursing through him. He fed upon the hatred and anger that seemed to accumulate within him, and his desire to kill became insatiable. His actions were no longer within his control, as the act of killing had become automatic. Suddenly, a moment of hesitation broke through, and Leng Mo awoke from the murderous trance. He found himself surrounded by the lifeless bodies of thousands, with blood staining the battlefield. Code, observing Leng Mo's state, felt a growing sense of concern for his well-being. The enemy soldiers who remained were paralyzed with fear, believing that Leng Mo had transformed into a demon, no longer human. His murderous aura was overpowering, with an overwhelming amount of hatred residing within him. Leng Mo issued a challenge to the remaining soldiers, daring them to step forward if they wished to face him. Suddenly, the enemy commander ordered a withdrawal, putting an end to the battle. Upon hearing this, the remaining Dare to Die members were overcome with joy and excitement, celebrating their survival with cheers, yells of glory, and hearty laughter. Leng Mo overheard their jubilation and gazed at his teammates with a relieved smile. He too was elated that they had made it through the battle. General Zhi Qian, witnessing Leng Mo's extraordinary combat abilities, couldn't help but feel that it would be a significant loss to keep him in the Dare to Die group now. General Zhi Qianhao expressed a strong desire to meet with Leng Mo after their first battle. He wanted to transfer Leng Mo out of the Dare to Die group to serve under his command. Leng Mo was initially willing to go, but he was torn by the fact that his teammates remained in the Dare to Die group. They had committed grave offenses and were forbidden to leave the camp for 30 years. After contemplating the fate of his comrades, Leng Mo ultimately decided to stay with them in the camp. General Zhi made several attempts to persuade Leng Mo to change his mind, but Leng Mo remained resolute in his decision. Though disappointed, General Zhi respected Leng Mo's unwavering commitment to his teammates. Despite their relatively short time together, Leng Mo had shared life and death experiences with his teammates, forging a deep bond. They had a motto they held close: to survive together through all challenges. Gradually, some changes began to take root within the Dare to Die group, and their practices drew more and more participants. Over the following days, they delved into a review of their first battle experience, making necessary adjustments to their strategies and timing. The battle marked Leng Mo's first time killing a person with the sinister Immortal Slayer sword, and it was also the first instance when he discovered the sword's ability to absorb energy and amplify his desire to kill. Leng Mo embarked on the endeavor of modifying the 7 deadly slash attack, condensing the original 49 styles into just 7. The Immortal Slayer sword had proven invaluable during the battle, and without it, Leng Mo might not have survived. Determined, he committed to daily training to fully integrate these 7 styles into his combat repertoire. Over the course of the next 3 years, there were countless battles, both large and small, each day. They faced constant life and death challenges, either defending their city or evacuating it. After enduring thousands of battles, they emerged considerably stronger. Red, yellow, blue, and green had all ascended to become sword warriors, while Leng Mo, aided by his exceptional blade, had reached the level of a great sword warrior. In addition to their remarkable progress in combat, the people of the Fragrance Empire had bestowed a new nickname upon Leng Mo, the Devil Immortal. The 3 years had passed swiftly, and Leng Mo was in exceptional physical and spiritual condition. One day, Code hurried into their tent with a piece of good news. Leng Mo was summoned to appear before General Zhi Qian in the castle. General Ji informed Leng Mo that due to the outstanding performance of the 5 of them on the battlefield, the situation had stabilized. After multiple requests to the Emperor, he had finally approved their release. Upon hearing this news, all the members were overwhelmed with happiness and emotion. Lan Qi couldn't hide his happiness, and tears welled up in his eyes as he witnessed the good news. Leng Mo expressed his gratitude to General Ji, and conveyed that they appreciated the care they had received, but they were not planning to remain there for an extended period. Leng Mo explained that they had grown weary of the constant battles, and wished to pursue their own paths. He assured the general that they would be willing to assist the kingdom in the future, should the need arise. General Xi welcomed their decision, and expressed his hope that they would remember their friend Xi, who would always be there for them. Following their celebration, they all savored the delectable meals thoughtfully prepared by Xi. Their excitement was palpable as they relished the delicious feast, thoroughly enjoying every moment. As the night progressed, the effects of alcohol took hold, and one by one, they drifted into a deep slumber. In the stillness of the night, Leng Mo made a heartfelt decision. He was overcome with emotion, tears welling up in his eyes. He realized that he didn't want to drag his friends into the revenge he needed to exact for his people. Quietly, and with a heavy heart, he decided to part ways from them. Leng Mo cherished the deep bond he had forged with his friends, but believed that it was time for them to seek their own happiness. If destiny willed it, they might cross paths again in the future. Leng Mo departed from the castle and strolled through the city streets, but the experience of living a peaceful and ordinary life felt strange to him. Even though he had left the Dare to Die group, he couldn't completely suppress the lingering presence of his killing intent. As Leng Mo continued on his way, someone called out to him from behind, addressing him by his nickname. Leng Mo was approached by a blue-haired girl who seemed curious about why a renowned figure like him was outside the military camps. Leng Mo regarded the girl with some skepticism and inquired about her intentions. The girl, sensing the anger in Leng Mo's eyes, reassured him that she meant no harm, and advised him to control his intimidating, murderous aura. She explained that she was not an adversary, but rather, she had never encountered the Dare to Die group. Introducing herself as Langer Dorst, she revealed that she was one of the mages who had joined the camp just a month ago. Upon hearing her name, something clicked in Leng Mo's mind. He recalled a group that had an exceptionally formidable commander named Langer Dorst, and he realized that this month's battles had been considerably easier thanks to her leadership. Leng Mo couldn't quite fathom why a renowned mage like Langer Dorst would seek him out. As his murderous intent seemed to intensify, Langer Dorst grew a bit uneasy and implored him to remain calm. Suggesting that Leng Mo invite her for a drink before his departure, Langer Dorst hinted at the possibility of gaining something valuable. Though Leng Mo felt uneasy about the situation, he agreed to proceed with her. Langer Dorst's continuous intense gaze made Leng Mo feel increasingly uncomfortable. At the bar, they ordered a meal, and Langer Dorst invited Leng Mo to join her for a drink. Leng Mo, perplexed by Langer Dorst's intentions, inquired about what she wanted from him. With a determined expression, Langer Dorst made a surprising request. She asked Leng Mo to become her disciple in the art of magic. Leng Mo was taken aback by the proposition. He explained that he couldn't spare the 2 or 3 years required for magic training, as he had more pressing matters to attend to. In response, Langer Dorst assured Leng Mo that he had the potential to excel and grasp magical concepts swiftly. Curious about what Leng Mo desired more than becoming her disciple, Langer Dorst posed the question to him. Leng Mo's response was clear. He desired a vengeful path soaked in blood. With a sigh, Langer Dorst acknowledged that there was little she could do in that regard. To resolve the matter, she proposed a bet. If Leng Mo won, he would be free to exact his revenge in his chosen manner, but if he lost, he would have to follow her method for revenge. Leng Mo accepted the bet, and he asked for the details. Langer Dorst explained that the rules were simple. Leng Mo only had to attack her while she sat before him. At first, Leng Mo believed this would be a straightforward task. However, Langer Dorst possessed a potent magical defense that he hadn't encountered before. Langer Dorst taunted Leng Mo, urging him to strike. Loading up his attack, Leng Mo rushed towards Langer Dorst with full force. As he attacked, 2 portals unexpectedly opened, redirecting his assault back towards himself. 2 hours later, Leng Mo regained consciousness, finding Langer Dorst seated beside him. Leng Mo slowly regained consciousness, his head throbbing from the self-inflicted blow he had suffered. Langer Dorst's magic had redirected his punch back towards himself. resulting in the injury. With Lang Mo now awake, Langerdorst proceeded to address the terms of their bet. As Lang Mo had lost, she explained that he would need to exact his revenge in the manner she suggested. Langerdorst then requested Lang Mo's blade. Lang Mo handed his blade to her, and she immediately noticed its remarkable weight and sensed a formidable power emanating from it. Langerdorst began channeling her energy into the blade, hoping to infuse it with her own power. However, as she did so, she was taken aback by the sensation of an entire universe contained within the weapon. Her shock was evident as she experienced this unexpected revelation. Langerdorst pointed at Lang Mo and inquired whether he possessed a double-element body. Confused by this term, Lang Mo sought clarification. Langerdorst explained that a double-element body meant having two different elements within one's body, which was quite rare. She noted that Lang Mo had demonstrated a fire element on the battlefield, and now, with the blade, he also seemed to possess a dimension element, a particularly rare combination. Eager to have Lang Mo as her disciple, Langerdorst promised to fetch a recommendation letter from a school for him. She asked him to wait as she prepared the necessary documents. Lang Mo harbored some hesitation, but Langerdorst assured him that the school she was recommending was among the finest on the mainlands. Attending this school, known as adjudicators, would significantly benefit his martial arts and magic abilities. Langerdorst explained that the adjudicators' mission was to capture the most dangerous criminals from various countries to gather vital information. Lang Mo began to see that seeking revenge as an adjudicator would be a much more feasible path. Then, Langerdorst dropped a bombshell. She revealed that Lang Mo's 4 campmates and 2 other murderers had been apprehended by adjudicators. This revelation left Lang Mo utterly shocked. Lang Mo had a terrible dream about his village being attacked by brutal assassins. He saw the horrifying things they did to his village. He woke up with tears in his eyes, feeling really shaken by the dream. Langerdorst, a friend, was sitting beside him and explained that the night before, Lang Mo had drunk too much, so she brought him to her place. Langerdorst told him that he had vomited all over himself, so she had to take off his clothes to help him sleep comfortably. She even had some pajamas ready for him, which he could wear inside her house. Lang Mo's head was throbbing, and he couldn't believe he got so drunk from just a few glasses of alcohol. Back in the camp, he used to drink fruit tea because he was a core member of the Dare to Die group, and no one could force him to drink anything else. Langerdorst gave Lang Mo some tea to help him sober up, and mentioned that he had agreed to the plans she discussed with him the previous night. Lang Mo confirmed that he indeed accepted her arrangements, which included enrolling at Zhongkai Academy. Lang Mo believed that this school was the right place to start his studies and investigate the whereabouts of his enemies, so he could finally get his sweet revenge. Over the next 3 years in the camp, he watched the recording in the necklace every day. However, this only fueled his growing hatred. Lang Mo couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the strength and physical abilities of his enemies. He felt completely powerless against them. Langerdorst noticed that Lang Mo seemed lost in thought, and she asked him what he was daydreaming about. She also reminded him that the entrance exam for Zhongkai Academy would be quite challenging. Langerdorst explained that every year, millions of students from all over the world came to take the exam, but only a few 100,000 managed to pass. Hearing this, Lang Mo was shocked to learn how difficult it was just to pass the exam. He couldn't help but wonder about the intensity of the training that lay ahead. In the end, Langerdorst revealed that the passing percentage for the Academy's entrance exam was as low as 1 in 10,000, meaning that not even 100 people qualified to enter. Hearing this extremely low passing rate, Lang Mo was truly shocked. However, Langerdorst believed that based on what she had observed of Lang Mo during the war, he was more than qualified for Zhongkai Academy. Encouraged by her faith in him, Lang Mo decided to become a disciple of his magical supervisor. Lang Mo began learning the basics of magic, and due to his innate talent, he managed to grasp the knowledge in just a single day. This swift progress seemed to give his magical supervisor a sense of inferiority. To avoid further shocking her, Lang Mo chose not to tell Langerdorst about his experiments with magical element arrangements. He believed that by stabilizing the originally scattered individual elements, he could enhance his magic energy. Despite teacher Langerdorst's insistence on keeping him, Lang Mo made the decision to leave. Before his departure, Langerdorst generously gave him a book on magic dimensions, showing her strong desire to teach him. It's not that Lang Mo didn't want to learn, he just felt the need to gather some information from the Fragrant Wind Empire before his classes began at Zhongkai Academy. Lang Mo was aware that he was considered a demon in the eyes of the Fragrant Wind Empire's army, so he knew it was essential to disguise himself while he was in their territory. Suddenly, 2 individuals rushed past Lang Mo, whispering about needing to report something urgently to their captain. They mentioned the dwarf map news and the potential for wealth if it was accurate. The men also spoke about how mercenaries from both the Luori Empire and the Fragrant Wind Empire had received this information. When Lang Mo overheard them talking about the dwarf race, he couldn't contain himself and shouted, stopping the boys in their tracks. He interrogated them about the situation and what was happening, and he warned them that if they didn't keep quiet, he would take drastic action. Upon seeing the anger in Lang Mo's eyes, both boys became frightened. They quickly shared that the prince of the Fragrant Wind Empire had, after drinking, claimed to have discovered a piece of dwarven craftology that was now nearly impossible to open. They added that as a result, the fourth prince had decided to return to the Dwarven village. Continuing their story, they mentioned that the news had spread like wildfire, and mercenaries from the entire Fragrant Wind Empire were setting out to search for the Dwarven race. If someone could locate a Dwarven weapon, they would become incredibly wealthy. Upon hearing this, Leng Mo wasted no time. He sprinted and hurried toward the Dwarven village with great urgency. While Leng Mo was rushing towards the Dwarven village, he couldn't help but worry about the safety of the people who remained there. Meanwhile, at the Fragrant Wind Empire's palace, the same assassin leader who had killed the dwarves was present, his sword still dripping with blood. He was none other than the fourth prince of the empire. He questioned his people, asking if they wanted to meet the same fate as the dwarves, who had been killed because they refused to reveal their secrets. The fourth prince intentionally leaked his plan to draw enough people to help him wipe out the dwarves and anyone who knew about their secrets. Even his own followers were growing increasingly concerned upon learning of his sinister plan. In a part of the forest near the Dwarven village, 2 mercenaries had been searching for the village for about half a month. One of them was growing frustrated, believing that the news they had heard might be fake, as they couldn't find any trace of the village. As they argued, a glowing light suddenly appeared in front of them. It was a figure wielding a large sword, with eyes that shone brightly. The figure warned them that they were not allowed to pass through that area, and should leave the forest immediately. Seeing this person, one of the mercenaries assumed they were just a weak human, and didn't take the warning seriously. The figure standing before the mercenaries was none other than Leng Mo, and he reiterated his warning, stating that if they didn't comply, they would face severe consequences. However, the mercenaries took it lightly and started laughing. In the blink of an eye, Leng Mo swiftly defeated them, and the mercenaries quickly realized their mistake in underestimating him. Over the past half-month, Leng Mo had been intercepting all the mercenaries in the forest who were searching for the dwarves. He had stopped around 100 of them by now, but the number of mercenaries seeking the Dwarven village only seemed to increase. Currently, these mercenaries had randomly appeared in the vicinity of the Dwarven village. Leng Mo was deeply concerned about the possibility of a tragedy befalling the Dwarven village once again. He had visited the village chief half a month ago, and the village had gone through significant changes since he left 3 years earlier. Back then, before his departure, Leng Mo had led all the dwarves to a cave where they had constructed numerous structures. Leng Mo and the chief had engaged in a long conversation that lasted throughout the night. Leng Mo shared his experiences over the past 3 years, and explained why he had returned and what he intended to do now. Leng Mo urged the chief to remain hidden inside the cave for safety, and the chief agreed to this plan. These days, Leng Mo had been using his persuasive skills to convince the mercenaries to leave the forest. He successfully managed to drive away those mercenaries who were willing to listen and follow his guidance. However, there were some individuals who refused to heed his warnings, leaving Leng Mo with no choice but to deal with them harshly. At night, Leng Mo often found himself lying beneath the beautiful sky next to a campfire, contemplating whether he could enjoy this tranquil environment forever, gazing at the majestic night sky. During one of these peaceful moments, he suddenly heard the solitary and disordered footsteps. As he turned his gaze towards the source of the sound, he saw a thin white figure that didn't resemble a typical mercenary. The guy, upon seeing Leng Mo, immediately went for a hug, filled with excitement and relief that he had found someone. However, Leng Mo kicked him away, questioning why the guy was clinging to him like that. They both settled by the campfire, and the guy began to explain his situation. He had been separated from his group and was terrified of falling victim to some monstrous creature. When he saw Leng Mo's campfire, he found a glimmer of hope for survival. Leng Mo was curious and asked why the guy had been following the mercenaries to such a perilous place, especially since he appeared to be as physically weak as a girl. Upon hearing the boy's emotional response, he revealed that people had always considered him useless, and that he'd been told he looked like a girl since childhood. He also expressed his desire to become a more capable man, especially to assist his father, but he felt he was too weak and lacked any notable skills. To become stronger, he had hired a mercenary team to venture into the forest and start his own journey of self-improvement, but he ended up getting separated from them. Leng Mo, upon hearing the boy's story, bluntly labeled him as an imprudent troublemaker. Leng Mo allowed Sidila to sleep near the campfire that night, and inquired about his name, to which he replied, Sidila. Suddenly they heard a noise emanating from the woods, which startled Sidila. In fear, he tried to hug Leng Mo once more, but Leng Mo used his leg to keep him at bay, reassuring him that he would handle the situation. As the sound grew closer, a large, angry werewolf monster emerged. Seeing this, Sidila was overwhelmed with fear, sweating profusely. The werewolf loomed over them with a menacing look. However, it turned out to be Leng Mo's silver wolf pet, which began to affectionately lick Leng Mo. While Leng Mo and the silver wolf shared a heartwarming bond, Sidila remained unconscious due to the intense scare he experienced when he thought the monster was about to attack them. The following day, a new group of mercenaries had entered the forest, and they were starting to feel exhausted after several days of traveling. They were becoming bored as they continued their search. However, their captain urged them to stay alert and maintain their spirits high, emphasizing the importance of being aware of their surroundings, especially since they were now in the territory rumored to be inhabited by demons. The captain also informed the group that he had heard that the fourth prince of the Piaxoyan Empire was personally leading his army to this location. Upon hearing this news, the other members of the group began to grow somewhat anxious. The captain went on to explain that the fourth prince had his sights set on another target known as the Phoenix, and legends told of a protective phoenix residing in the Dwarven village. Hearing this, the other mercenaries couldn't help but be tempted by the idea of capturing the Phoenix, as its feather was believed to bring great wealth. However, they also acknowledged that the Phoenix was known to be incredibly powerful. One member suggested that they follow behind the fourth prince and collect whatever drops or remnants were left behind. But as he was in the midst of making this suggestion, an arrow struck him in the head. As the group got into a defensive formation, another arrow was swiftly launched, followed by a downpour of arrows. All the members were struck by the arrows. However, the lady used her magic to create an immensely powerful blast wave, instantly ending the captain's life. Witnessing the archer's laughter and boasting about his intentions to celebrate with a feast, including frilled roasted pork, Leng Mo lost his appetite. As the archer continued to speak, a small fireball suddenly struck his head, causing it to catch fire. The archer, now in anger, looked around to identify the source of the attack, and found it to be Leng Mo. Leng Mo confessed that he hadn't managed to turn the archer into roasted pork, but it appeared that his fireball had not been strong enough for that. With a menacing and determined look on his face, Leng Mo declared that he would punish the archer, leaving the archer deeply shocked by his audacity. Leng Mo advanced towards them, drawing his sword while walking. With a powerful swing, he unleashed a wave of scorching fire, and in an instant, all of the archer's teammates were reduced to ashes. Overwhelmed and terrified by what he had just witnessed, the archer anxiously inquired whether Leng Mo was a warrior or a mage, unsure of the nature of his abilities. The archer, overcome with fear and desperation, begged and wept, pleading with Leng Mo to spare his life, emphasizing that he still needed to take care of his dear mother. Leng Mo, gripping his sword tightly, responded by stating that if he had come across the Dwarven village and they had begged for their lives in the same way, he wouldn't have shown them mercy. With that, Leng Mo launched an attack on the archer. As Leng Mo gazed at the lifeless body of the mercenaries' group captain, he remarked that it would have been wiser for the captain to have stayed home and played poker instead. Just as he was saying this, 2 arrows were fired in his direction, but Leng Mo skillfully deflected them using his sword. As more arrows came raining down, Leng Mo quickly dodged them, seeking cover behind a tree. He realized that he couldn't afford to be reckless, especially since his enemies were still unaware of his presence. The brother of the deceased mercenary arrived on the scene and was overcome with grief and shock upon seeing his brother's charred body. They believed that Leng Mo was responsible for the killing. In their rage, they unleashed a fireball attack towards Leng Mo, but he managed to evade it by swiftly leaping behind another tree. The group was furious, consisting of both a mage and an archer. Leng Mo quickly assessed the situation and realized that the 2 warriors were at an advanced level of skill, and the mage was quite proficient as well. If he attacked head-on, the archer would have a clear shot at him, so he decided to maneuver around them instead. Leng Mo leaped again, aiming to eliminate the archer first. With the archer out of the way, the rest of the group wouldn't be able to chase him effectively. As he ran, Leng Mo calculated the archer's position based on the direction and angle of the arrow, and he swiftly jumped towards the archer, taking him down. Now that the archer was neutralized, Leng Mo turned his attention to the other group members, who hesitated briefly before making a run for it. This left the mage behind, unable to catch up with the rest. With the mage left behind, Leng Mo managed to apprehend and subdue him. Now only 2 of them remained, and Leng Mo chose to reveal himself to them. They were seething with anger over the deaths of their friends and were consumed by thoughts of revenge, while Leng Mo patiently awaited the right moment. In their desperation for revenge, their leader and the remaining warrior launched an attack against Leng Mo, but he skillfully evaded their strikes. Seizing the opportune moment, Leng Mo swiftly maneuvered himself to align with both of them, launching a powerful counterattack that incapacitated them both, courtesy of his mighty Immortal Slayer sword. With a single swing of Leng Mo's sword, the 2 defeated foes vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. Afterward, Leng Mo spoke quietly to himself, reflecting on his own experience of losing someone dear to him, a pain he never wanted to endure again. On the other side, Sedilla found himself surrounded by the adorable pups of the Silver Wolf. However, he was terrified of them, and his anxiety caused him to break out in a heavy sweat. Sedilla was truly terrified of the cute wolf cubs, and desperately wished for Leng Mo to return, providing him with an escape from their presence. He couldn't help but think that the hungry cubs might consider him as a potential meal. As Sedilla pondered his situation, a water buffalo fell in front of him, and Leng Mo arrived, apologizing for his tardiness. Sedilla was bewildered by the sight of the massive buffalo. Leng Mo then turned his attention to the silver wolf cubs and offered the water buffalo as a meal for them. Leng Mo then turned to Sedilla and asked if he would like to stay and share the meal with them. Excited by the offer, Sedilla eagerly agreed. As they all savored the delicious water buffalo meat, Sedilla couldn't contain his happiness and expressed his delight at enjoying Leng Mo's cooking. Sedilla was curious, and asked Leng Mo how he was able to prepare such a fantastic meal. Leng Mo, with a smile, replied that he wasn't going to reveal his secret. In truth, Leng Mo had learned the art of barbecuing during his summer vacations while working at a BBQ retail store back on Earth. Upon arriving in this new world, Leng Mo quickly noticed that the local cuisine rarely featured seasonings. Instead, the people here often consumed plain dishes, such as papaya porridge or simple boiled meat, merely to satisfy their hunger. Drawing upon his memory and the recollection of some familiar spices, Leng Mo was able to create exceptional BBQ dishes that added a burst of flavor and excitement to his meals in this world. Observing Sedilla enjoying his meal, Leng Mo advised him that after eating, he should depart while it was still daylight. He recommended that Sedilla head directly northeast in order to reach the Fragrant Empire. Upon hearing this, Sedilla began to plead earnestly. He expressed his fears of the forest, citing the presence of dangerous monsters that could easily consume him if he ventured out alone. Sedilla begged like a child, and promised that if Leng Mo helped him escape the forest, he would not be a bother to him again. Leng Mo initially showed no interest in Sedilla's pleas, but when Sedilla offered him 10,000 purple crystal coins, Leng Mo paused to reconsider. The promise of 10,000 purple crystal coins was a substantial amount of money. In the Sunset Empire, Mantu cost only 1 bronze coin, and when Leng Mo and his 5 brothers had departed, the general had given them each only 1 purple crystal coin. Therefore, 10,000 purple crystal coins represented a significant sum, enough to cover Leng Mo's tuition fees at Zhongkai Academy and provide for his living expenses without any worries. Leng Mo turned to Sedilla and sought confirmation that he could indeed provide 10,000 purple crystal coins if Leng Mo assisted him. Sedilla affirmed his ability to offer such a sum, mentioning that 10,000 crystal coins were of little consequence to them. Leng Mo agreed to the deal, promising to help Sedilla leave the forest once he had completed all the tasks he needed to attend to. Sedilla consented to the arrangement, and Leng Mo left him in the company of the Silver Wolf Cubs. Somewhere deep in the forest, 2 mercenaries were on a quest to find the dwarfs, one of them being a mage. Unbeknownst to them, Leng Mo was perched in a tree above, discreetly eavesdropping on their conversation. Leng Mo overheard the mercenaries discussing the discovery of the dwarf's hiding place, which filled him with shock and concern. The mage informed his companion that during their last operation, the 4th prince had managed to locate the phoenix's nest. This revelation shook Leng Mo to the core, and his hand began to tremble. While filled with a sense of relief, Leng Mo also realized that it was now his chance for revenge. Leng Mo wasted no time and made his way to the dwarf cave, where he shared this alarming news with the chief. The chief expressed his worry and inquired about the number of people heading for the phoenix. Leng Mo admitted that he wasn't certain, but anticipated a substantial force would be involved in the pursuit. The chief informed Leng Mo that the phoenix was indeed a legendary creature and considered immortal. He explained that the phoenix underwent reincarnation approximately every 10,000 years, and with each cycle, it grew even more powerful. However, just before the moment of reincarnation, the phoenix's strength would significantly diminish. The chief emphasized that the phoenix was currently in the declining stage, and if it didn't survive this phase, it would fall into an eternal slumber due to its depleted strength. This revelation left Leng Mo deeply concerned, and he inquired whether the phoenix's vulnerability might attract the attention of a significant number of individuals. Leng Mo insisted that the chief and the other dwarfs should remain safely within the cave, and he would venture out alone to protect the fire phoenix. He declared his unwavering commitment to the dwarves and their well-being, vowing to defend the fire phoenix even if it meant risking his own life. Leng Mo's plan was to infiltrate the attackers' group and disrupt their formation from within. The chief agreed and led the way towards the phoenix's location. However, Leng Mo was quick to caution the chief that he needed to return to the cave as he could easily be spotted by the mercenaries. With a secret escape tunnel at his disposal, Leng Mo guided the chief out of the cave to ensure his safety. Outside the cave, Leng Mo and the chief could hear voices growing closer, signaling the arrival of mercenaries. However, these mercenaries were already bickering among themselves over a prize they hadn't even obtained yet. Leng Mo observed that additional forces and armies were approaching the mountain, converging on the cave. A chaotic battle erupted as they clashed with magic blasts, swords, and arrows. The mercenaries began killing each other and charging into the fray. In the midst of this turmoil, a massive fire blast erupted, decimating nearly half of the combatants. As a result of the blast's impact, a massive boulder was set in motion, rolling down the hill with significant force. Those mercenaries below desperately attempted to escape, but many were struck by debris and the boulder itself. The rock was moving swiftly, indiscriminately taking the lives of anyone in its path. Among the chaos, the victims couldn't determine who was responsible for this devastation. Suddenly, they witnessed an individual leaping off the boulder, revealing that the one who had initiated this was Leng Mo. Baffled and inquisitive, they approached Leng Mo, asking about his affiliation with a mercenary group, and questioning why he had orchestrated the attack that had resulted in so much destruction. With a resolute look in his eyes, Leng Mo replied that his sole purpose there was to eliminate them all. His words ignited anger among the remaining mercenaries, and they charged at Leng Mo in fury. Yelling that they were all mere weaklings, Leng Mo swung his Immortal Slayer sword, unleashing a powerful wave of fire. The fiery wave struck the oncoming mercenaries, instantly ending their lives. The surviving mercenaries who witnessed Leng Mo's overwhelming power were left in shock and fear. Leng Mo fixed them with a serious and authoritative gaze, warning that this would be their fate if they dared to obstruct his path. One of the mercenaries shouted out that Leng Mo was alone, suggesting they should band together to make an easy kill. This remark fueled Leng Mo's anger, and he firmly believed that anyone who stood in his way was his enemy, regardless of their numbers. In response, they all charged at Leng Mo with the intent to take him down. Leng Mo's expression shifted to that of a furious, killer-like demeanor. He swung his sword with tremendous force, generating a massive shockwave that struck down and killed the first of those who dared to approach him. He continued to swing his sword, striking down each subsequent attacker without hesitation. As Leng Mo continued to kill his attackers, his intent and hatred grew with each life he took. In the distance, other mercenaries observed the massive explosions occurring nearby. They surmised that a fierce battle was taking place, and that there was a formidable adversary in the vicinity. Amused by this, they laughed and concluded that they should allow these combatants to fight it out, ensuring that no one would be left to oppose them in their quest for treasure. However, while discussing their plan, a powerful presence suddenly streaked past them in an instant, leaving them in shock. The group of mercenaries, now sensing a powerful aura, found themselves in the presence of Leng Mo. His overwhelming strength and the Immortal Slayer sword he wielded radiated immense power. As they looked at Leng Mo, they were filled with both astonishment and fear. In hushed tones, they agreed among themselves that they needed to prevent Leng Mo from passing them. They also recognized that Leng Mo's aura was exceptionally lethal, and it was clear that he was fully determined to engage them in battle. Elsewhere, within the Phoenix's den, the fourth prince and his army were assembled. Their objective was to capture the Phoenix, the guardian of the dwarves, in the absence of any dwarves themselves. The fourth prince directed his warriors and mages from the hilltop, overseeing their efforts to subdue the Phoenix. The mages were locked in a fierce struggle with the Phoenix, using their magic to bind and restrain it. Eventually, they succeeded in immobilizing the Phoenix, rendering it unable to counterattack. With the Phoenix now defenseless, the mages urged the fourth prince to launch his assault. Driven by madness and an intense desire to capture the Phoenix, the fourth prince grasped his sword, and with a look of sheer determination, leaped onto the weakened guardian and stabbed it with his blade. The fourth prince's stab produced a powerful burst of energy that reverberated through the Phoenix's den. The mages, seeing the Phoenix injured and weakened, felt a sense of relief. The fourth prince, while amazed that the Phoenix was still alive after such a massive blow, was also pleased to have obtained its blood. The mages intensified their chain-based powers, and the other attackers increased their attacks to further subdue the Phoenix. Observing the struggle, the fourth prince was filled with excitement and wore an evil grin on his face. The Phoenix fought desperately to break free from its restraints. However, a sudden and unexpected occurrence disrupted the mage's control. One of the mage's chains broke, leaving the other mages and attackers puzzled and concerned. As they looked at the spot where the mage who had been channeling the chain once stood, they found it empty, devoid of any presence. The sudden break in one of the chains applied extra pressure to the remaining chains, causing chaos among the mages. In the midst of this confusion, someone swiftly stabbed another mage. To the surprise of the onlookers, it was Leng Mo, who had infiltrated their ranks and was systematically eliminating the mages controlling the chains. Seeing Leng Mo in action, the soldiers and mages became anxious and terrified, giving orders to eliminate him. However, Leng Mo displayed remarkable agility and speed. His top priority was to neutralize the four mages controlling the chains, as they posed the greatest threat. Leng Mo spotted another mage and rushed toward them, but a soldier swung his sword, striking Leng Mo's leg. Leng Mo realized the importance of avoiding further injury, knowing that a single blow could severely impact his ability to continue fighting. Leng Mo realized that facing the sword-wielding soldier head-on wouldn't be a viable option. The soldier, with a taunting look, questioned Leng Mo if he was done playing tricks. With a swift and powerful swing of his sword, the soldier attacked. However, Leng Mo seized the opportunity, and with remarkable agility, evaded the sword attack, simultaneously taking down a mage behind him. Observing Leng Mo systematically eliminating their comrades, the other mages and soldiers were left in fear, knowing there was little they could do. Only one mage remained, and the soldiers were determined to protect them. Despite his injured leg, Leng Mo sprinted towards the last mage with determination. One of the soldiers noticed Leng Mo's approach and leaped towards him. Leng Mo was resolute in his mission to take down the last mage, even if it meant risking his own life. Leng Mo ran toward the mage, with two soldiers standing in front to block his attack. Behind him, another soldier attacked from the back with a sword, hitting Leng Mo, but he managed to kill the last remaining mage, setting the mighty Phoenix free from its shackles. When the Phoenix was freed, it became super angry, and the Fort King army quickly retreated. The Phoenix's eyes showed strong revenge and anger. It seemed like all its chains were broken, and there was nothing holding it back anymore. Leng Mo couldn't even find the strength to take a breath. He believed that death was imminent. It was hard for him to accept that a genius like himself would meet his end in such a place. With his eyes closed, Lang Mo knew that the fate of the dwarf race now rested on the phoenix's shoulders. They still needed its protection. As the phoenix broke free, a soldier urgently shouted for everyone to protect the fourth prince. They couldn't allow the phoenix to harm their highness. Soldiers formed a protective barrier around the fourth prince and began to slowly retreat. Meanwhile, the phoenix burned with fury and blazed in anger. The phoenix's rage was so intense that it caused the earth to tremble, and the mercenaries above felt a strong earthquake. Suddenly, the ground burst open like a volcano. It was the phoenix's nest, and it seemed like a volcanic eruption due to its fury and power. Other mercenaries and soldiers, seeing this, grew worried and started running. They didn't realize it was the phoenix. They thought it was just a volcanic eruption. However, one of them noticed the phoenix emerging from the fiery chaos, clutching Lang Mo's lifeless body in its powerful claw. Lang Mo was severely injured, bleeding from various wounds, and the phoenix itself was also hurt. Other mercenaries, seeing the injured phoenix, began chasing it, hoping to claim a piece of its power for themselves. Back in the phoenix's nest, the fourth prince was furious that Lang Mo had rescued the phoenix and snatched it from their grasp. He believed the phoenix had suffered a serious blow from him, so he didn't think it could escape too far. The fourth prince ordered his army to pursue the phoenix. Now, with a whole army on their trail, the mercenaries were determined to catch the injured phoenix. They reached the location where the phoenix had landed and planned to attack it. However, as they approached the phoenix, they noticed a powerful beam of light shooting into the sky. One of the mercenaries was aware that the phoenix was entering its rebirth stage, which meant it wouldn't be able to attack them at this moment. On the other side, the fourth prince was furious and determined to reach the phoenix as quickly as possible. He ordered his men to chase after the phoenix and eliminate any mercenaries who got in their way. However, one of the fourth prince's men reported that they couldn't proceed any further. The fourth prince asked why, and the soldier replied that there was a tree in front of them, which indicated the presence of another beast in the area. Hearing the soldier's report, the fourth prince erupted in anger, blaming Lang Mo for ruining his entire plan. Meanwhile, the phoenix was in the midst of its rebirth process, with Lang Mo lying beside it, unconscious. The phoenix, despite its dire situation, managed to express gratitude to the unconscious Lang Mo. It told him that he was now blessed with phoenix blood, assuring him that his wounds would heal rapidly. However, the situation looked grim, as everyone was closing in on the phoenix, and it seemed like escape was no longer an option. As more and more mercenaries closed in on the phoenix egg, the phoenix realized that they were their target. It vowed to do its best to divert their attention, allowing Lang Mo to continue living on. However, a new voice suddenly joined the scene, expressing disbelief that a divine beast, like the phoenix, would speak in such a pessimistic manner. It was the silver wolf, with its eyes brimming with a fierce determination. The silver wolf assured the phoenix that it would take care of the attackers, and urged the phoenix to focus on protecting Lang Mo. The mercenaries charged at the phoenix egg with full force, believing it was the perfect time to snatch it, while the phoenix was in a weakened state. One group of mercenaries managed to reach the egg faster than the others, but something suddenly blocked their path. It was the divine beast, the silver wolf. The mercenaries were startled and frightened to encounter a powerful creature like the silver wolf in this part of the forest. They were left puzzled as to why a divine beast would appear here. The silver wolf's resounding howl sent shivers down their spines, making them sweat profusely. The loud howl also reached the ears of the mercenaries behind, instilling fear in them as well. One of the mercenaries was shocked when he heard the howl. His fellow mercenaries asked him what was wrong, and his eyes widened with fear. He explained that he had heard this howl before, and it came from the Wolf King. The silver wolf was now sprinting through the forest toward them. The terrified mercenaries learned that the most terrifying thing about the silver wolf wasn't just its power, but also its howl. Hearing this, all the other mercenaries grew even more afraid. Suddenly, they felt a heavy presence, and the silver wolf appeared, leaping onto them. With the howl of the Silver Wolf King, other wolves in the area joined the attack, and they swiftly eliminated all the mercenaries. Lang Mo woke up, finding himself resting on the back of the silver wolf. As Lang Mo opened his eyes, he gasped in disbelief. He was struggling to remember the last thing he knew. He recalled being near the entrance of a volcano. He looked around and saw the silver wolf licking him, which made him believe that the wolf had saved him. Lang Mo asked about the phoenix, but the silver wolf could only bark in response. Lang Mo then noticed his leg, fully recovered, even though it had been chopped off when he fell unconscious. He was deeply puzzled by these extraordinary events. Suddenly, a small bird appeared in front of Lang Mo and explained that it had fed him its blood, which was the reason for his miraculous recovery. Lang Mo, curious about this little bird, asked who it was. Lang Mo grabbed the small bird and soon realized that it was indeed the phoenix. He asked the tiny phoenix why it had become so small. The bird explained that the mercenaries had disrupted its rebirth stage, and it had used all its stored energy to fight them off. As a result, the phoenix was in this diminutive form due to the ongoing rebirth process. It told Lang Mo that it would remain in this state for a while until it could accumulate enough energy to advance to the next stage. The phoenix expressed deep gratitude to Lang Mo for saving and rescuing it. In response, Lang Mo confessed that he still felt too weak and believed that if he had been stronger, none of this would have happened. The phoenix reassured Leng Mo that he had done exceptionally well and had risked his life to save the phoenix. It explained that it had transferred its remaining energy into Leng Mo's body, transforming his body into a fire elemental body. Leng Mo was initially puzzled by the term fire elemental, but the phoenix clarified that, due to the energy transfer through his blood, his body's fire energy had increased. The phoenix suggested that he should release some of his chi and experience the difference. Leng Mo released his chi, and suddenly he was enveloped in flames, experiencing a significant surge in power. Leng Mo realized that the feeling was somewhat akin to becoming a Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball, and he couldn't contain his excitement. He could feel his power increasing dramatically. However, the phoenix grew a bit concerned, cautioning Leng Mo to calm down, or he might end up setting the entire forest on fire. Leng Mo did his best to calm his newfound power, but he couldn't help but wonder why he could suddenly understand what the phoenix was saying. In response, the phoenix explained that Leng Mo had now formed a contract with it, which allowed him to comprehend its speech. When this realization dawned on Leng Mo, he couldn't help but shout in shock. Leng Mo couldn't quite believe why the phoenix had accepted to be his contract pet, especially when he already had the silver wolf as his contract pet. The phoenix explained that it didn't have much of a choice at the time. It needed to save Leng Mo and ensure a successful transition to its own rebirth stage. The phoenix clarified that if it had saved Leng Mo back then, it wouldn't have had enough energy left for the rebirth process. It went on to mention that, because Leng Mo's energy was of the fire type, it could make use of his energy to aid in its transition to the rebirth stage after becoming Leng Mo's contract pet. The phoenix also emphasized that Leng Mo had ingested its energy-infused blood, making him the perfect candidate to form this contract. Therefore, that was why it chose to do so. From that moment on, Leng Mo and the phoenix's lives were intricately connected, with the phoenix becoming Leng Mo's contract pet. Even the intelligent Leng Mo needed some time to process the overwhelming information he had received. It was hard for him to fathom that the guardian of the Dwarven race was now his pet. On the other hand, the phoenix was contemplating a different matter. It realized that it could finally take a break from its duty as the guardian, after tens of thousands of years. The phoenix wished Leng Mo good luck in his future endeavors. Meanwhile, Leng Mo was filled with excitement at the prospect of having the phoenix as his very own pet. Don't forget to like and comment for the next part. Join our Discord for the name of the book and subscribe for more videos from us.